sure as earlier today it was released the conference slate for the Tiger basketball team this season. So we'll get into that a little bit later, probably around 3:45 or so. We will dive into that. But a ton to get into. We'll also talk NBA. Keith Smith will join us later as camp's opening all around the NBA, getting started. We know Grizzlies will open camp on Monday with media days, so a lot to get to over these next 3 hours. But, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well, and the whole thing about old dogs and new tricks, and kind of for older people, any change of routine. Mm-hmm. So I'm already in Oxford.
Yeah, that's right.
And getting ready for LSU on Saturday, and some things to go to tonight, and busy day tomorrow, and it's getting ready to get really crowded. So I'm sitting there being in Oxford, and I'm thinking, where are the fight songs? That's tomorrow.
A day early, Brett.
We usually don't do this kind of out in the public like this, but we're going to today.
Okay.
Here's where I am on Fight Song Friday tomorrow. And y'all can pick out anything you want. Tigers and FAU. Because it can't be overlooked. Think how little we've talked to FAU this week.
That's a good point. It's
been Razorbacks and college football playoff and what seed. And so I think we need to focus tomorrow.
Now, Brett,
I don't know that I would know FAU song.
I'm going to have to learn the FAU song. We're not going to be able to double check and make sure this is the right fight song.
So you could play Campbell College tomorrow and be tricking me.
I could play anything, and
you could play anything.
I don't think any of us would know the difference between FAU's fight song.
You could play Pittsburgh State.
Sure, and I would not know the difference between that and FAU's fight song.
What do you think of the idea?
I like it. I think Brett.
We got to get focused tomorrow.
Brett, we've talked about it, and I think it is very different from last year. But at the time last year, we didn't know what Navy was. Now, I don't think FAU is going to be what Navy is, but I remember last year after the Florida State win, all week we talked about Florida State.
We did this last year.
And we didn't talk at all about the Navy game. Mm-mm. And then Saturday rolled around and Tigers lost, and then it was a completely different conversation come Monday. So I think you're right. You can't overlook this. And I have been even more about it because I'm very superstitious, and as you know, Brett, and so I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse or whatever the saying is, but I think you're right. I kind of like where your head's at, Brett.
One time a coach got very animated and very excited post-game and was going to try to use that example.
Uh-huh.
And he got real excited. He said, it's like putting the horses in front of the cart. I'm thinking, wait, that's how you're supposed to do it,
exactly
isn't it?
What you're supposed to do.
The horses are supposed to go first. But he got all bumfuzzled and agitated. I may be the least superstitious person, but certainly sports person ever.
You are. You absolutely are. And I am the exact opposite. When it comes to sports, I'm very superstitious, but I'm not superstitious about anything else in my life. It's just about sports. So it's like I'll step on cracks.
I'm not at all.
Broken mirror. Now,
find me a ladder and I'll walk right under it.
Now, Brett, I say that I have turned around when I see a black cat cross the street.
Never crosses in front of me. I go kitty, go.
Brett, I'm telling you, I've been.
And I'm not a cat person.
Well, no, I'm not a cat person.
Good luck, kitty.
But Brett, I've been driving a car through a neighborhood. Black cat runs across the street. I've stopped the car. I've turned it around. I've gone the long way out to get to where I was trying to go. So, but with sports, I'm very superstitious. My entire family
Landon,
is like that.
You may have to do the deep dive on the FAU fight song.
Yeah, I don't really have anything.
I'll see what I can find out.
I don't know. Whatever you find, I mean,
push comes to shove, I might just play Hawaii's.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
You
Hawaii
could
has
have done that, and I would have never. Yeah. You could play. I would know the theme to Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah. No, I certainly wouldn't know the Hawaii fight song, but I know he's got that.
And in the 70s, every high school band played the theme to Hawaii 5-0.
Is that right?
You could count on that, and then after Rocky, you could count on the Rocky theme at every high school marching band.
I like that. Yeah, let's stamp it now. We're gonna start the show
Let's
tomorrow. Memphis and FAU.
Everybody good on that?
I'm
all in.
I vote yes. So we will do that tomorrow for Fight Song.
I was thinking maybe Notre Dame, Arkansas, but we get a lot of the Arkansas fight song and Calling the Hogs with Ty.
Yeah, that's right.
And we'll do that tomorrow at 5. And everybody knows Notre Dame's fight song.
We already
they're
did Notre Dame.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I like that, a little bit of a fresh flavor. I'm never gonna get tired of the Memphis Fight song, so we're
love it.
fine with that.
I fell in love with it in
Yeah.
the 70s at Tiger
And
basketball.
certainly, I'm sure maybe a Sports 56 first to play the FAU fight song on these airways. I don't know if they've
I
ever
would
been
go
played.
so far to say they don't even play it in Boca.
You know, Brett, you might be right about that.
Rachel Kiffin said about the FAU job, best job in the country, 353 days a year.
It really is.
He said the 12 game days, that's the work.
You can't beat it. You can't beat it until those game days roll around, and then it is something
It would be
different.
nice living in Boca.
No, it sure would be. Yeah, I don't blame anybody that lives down there. It sounds
Can't
like
come close to affording that.
No, not at all. But we're gonna talk a lot of.
And I like a little bit of the change of seasons. Speaking
sure.
of changing of seasons, the boys of summer are getting close to fall and to playoffs. And next week, we're all going to talk about Cal Raleigh. People are going to talk
Big
about
dump.
MVP.
That's right.
I may repeat this a couple of times a day. So we're talking 60. That's a magical number in baseball. I know a lot goes with Barry Lamar Bonds. I can just say his name and light up the text line. Always could. Just one of the lightning rod people ever. He went 74, 73, 70-something, and did it with everybody knowing he was swinging for the downs. Not a lot of protection in front or behind him. And I think in the hardest ballpark to hit it out of, I love Hank Aaron. I love the legend of Hank Aaron. I love the stories of the great Yankees. I like Aaron Judge now. The single season home run king and the all-time home run king it's Barry Bonds to me.
No doubt. I mean, we've talked about it before, and you're right with Barry Bonds. It's one of those things, but you cannot change my mind that he is one of the best baseball players that we have ever seen. Steroid or not, I think he's shown enough.
Great base runner.
I mean,
Gold Glove defender.
Everything he did was incredible. And so, Barry Bonds is. I think we all on the show. I think this is a pro Barry Bonds show. I think we can stamp that.
And I don't know. I've heard horror stories about what he was like to deal with teammates, with media, whatever. I don't care. I mean, I didn't deal with him like that. I just watched him play baseball, and I marveled at it. And he might have been I think he probably is a royal patoot. Okay, that doesn't affect me.
No, exactly. I mean, that's the thing is, and you hear it with so many different players. Oh man, he was the worst, or they were terrible to deal with. Okay, cool. He's still a great player. Like that doesn't take away him hitting all these bombs. Like that's incredible. What
I do think the nice guy. We'll talk with Ty Richardson about this tomorrow as well. I do think being the nice guy probably tacks on a year or two for you as a coach, and when you're the player. If there's that negative story out there, well, I'm not going to write this. He's pretty nice guy. And if he is that royal patoot, well, write it. And if you're not a nice guy as the coach, and you don't make any friends along the way, that when it starts going south for you don't have any defenders.
I mean, it's very easy, especially with coaches. I mean, if you're a nice guy, if everybody likes you, then I think you get some leniency and a little bit of forgiveness there. If nobody likes you, then that means the boosters don't like you, and it's going to be a lot easier to move on.
Yeah.
And
then it's night of long knives.
Exactly. So, I think you're right about that. But, no, what Cal Raleigh has done this year has been remarkable. 60 home runs last night. And to do this as a everyday catcher, I mean, I don't know if people are talking about that enough. I know people are talking about it, but I don't know if we fully understand how hard it is to be an everyday catcher and hit 60 home runs. I mean, it is remarkable the season that he's put together.
And I think it was the last one. There was one pitch, and it was all but rolled up there. He had to go down and dig it out to get it out. Was it the last one?
It was number 60. I mean, that was a golf swing. It was
it was 2-iron. He had to dig it out.
It would have absolutely been a ball if he hadn't swung at it. But I mean, just the way that he steps up. That was bottom of the 8th inning. I mean, a jam-packed rockin' T-Mobile Park. Everyone's chanting MVP. First pitch he sees, he puts it over the right field fence. And so, I mean,
Good stuff.
Really good. They win the division last night. First time since 2001 that they've won the division. So
Yeah, they won 114 that year.
Yeah, no, that was Ichiro's
That was Lupinella.
rookie year. Yeah, no, that was a big year, and so no, they are playing really well, and still have some time that they could maybe potentially be that number 1 seed in the AL. It's really
I want Cleveland and Seattle in that American League, San Diego, Milwaukee in the National League. Guaranteed would have a first-time World Series winner. Well, Cleveland, first time since '48.
Sure. Yeah, 48, Brett. I don't want to jump into my Tyler Hero impression, but 48.
Won it in 24 and 48, and both times with player managers. Chris Speaker and Lou Boudreau.
Brett, you said everything I need to know about it. It is.
You going Tyler Hero on me?
They've
you shut
never
down?
won a World Series, Brett. In my mind, Cleveland has never won a World Series. So,
Right, I'm going to have to check this, but I think the last time they won it, was against a team that no longer exists, the Boston Braves. I think. I got to check that. I know Chris Speaker and Lou Boudreau's right.
I love that. That makes it 10 times
And
better.
when they won it in 48 from Helena, Arkansas, Gene Bearden won 20 games for them.
All right, how about that?
A friend of mine played American Legion baseball for Gene Bearden in Helena.
Phenomenal. That's great. But I think Guardians, they've been the story late in the season of this turnaround that they're having. 9-1 now. They won again last night against Detroit. Detroit now looking all out of sorts. 1-9 in their last 10. 8 losses in a row. So, I mean, the story is now turning to one of Detroit and Houston likely not going to be in the playoffs, which is hard to believe after how most of the season has played out. That's great.
It was.
That's awesome. Old Boston Braves.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Okay. You ought to see the logo looks like a side shot of the Blackhawks sweater.
Interesting. Okay. Huh.
Billy Southworth, manager. Wow.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
I think he managed in Memphis for the Chicks. I really do.
Really?
May have played for him. Did something with it. We're way down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know none of this stuff, so I cannot be the person that you asked those questions to. But something else interesting last night, flipped over after the Mariners game to the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. Dodgers ultimately won that game. They needed extra innings, but going in the bottom of the 8th inning, I was watching the Diamondbacks broadcast, and they flipped the camera to the bullpen, the Dodgers bullpen, and who's warming up out there? Clayton Kershaw in the pen. He came in the 9th inning, looked good, only threw 1 inning for the Dodgers. Ultimately, in the 11th inning, Dodgers able to win that game, but only the 4th time in his regular season career that he has made an appearance out of the bullpen, and it sounds like that is a option. With how bad the Dodgers bullpen has been, it doesn't seem like Clayton Kershaw is going to be a postseason starter for the Dodgers. So supposedly he went and said, look, if I can help this team out of the bullpen, put me out there and I will pitch out of the pen. They kind of ran through it last night against the Diamondbacks, and so it's something we could see in the playoffs. Clayton Kershaw coming in late in games and giving the Dodgers an inning or two.
They've got to get starting pitching, and 4 games left for the Dodgers. They're at 89 wins. Mm-hmm. They win all 4. They land on 93. We were thinking they were going to win 110 easy.
Yeah. I mean, and you're right. It's been the pitching, and it's been a house of horrors this year for them. I mean, you look at all of these guys that have dealt with injuries that were, going to be big-time starters on this team, and then other guys that really just haven't panned out. Roki Sasaki, I think he's back up with the Dodgers now, but that's a guy that before the season started, everyone's talking about. He's coming over from Japan, and he's going to be the big thing this season, Rookie of the Year, and could be Cy Young and all this stuff. And for most of the latter part of the season, he's been down in AAA in Oklahoma City. So, he really hasn't panned out. And then, just you could talk for days about all of the injuries that they have, and especially to that starting rotation. It has been pretty much all year they dealt with some injuries. It feels like they're starting to get a lot of those guys healthy, and that will certainly help in postseason play. But pitching's been a huge issue for this Dodgers team this year, and we'll see if they can figure it out. But, yeah, it's definitely been not what people expected going into the season for the Dodgers. Now, we say that, and they could easily go into postseason play and look like the Dodgers we all expected them to be, and just run away with this and win the whole thing easily. But
they've never made it look easy in the postseason, though.
No, that
I
is
mean,
a good
even
point.
winning it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to the postseason getting started, but also looking forward to seeing how this plays out. I think a lot of intrigue left in Major League Baseball over these next couple of days as we wrap up.
Well, but the Cardinals have just gotten hot and won 17 out of 19. Look where they'd have been.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, they'd be right there, Brett. Eliminated last night, which I did not watch the game. I saw the tweets come out from all the beat writers. The Cardinals officially eliminated. Okay.
Tough way to lose, too.
Yeah.
That loss last night, that loss Saturday night to Milwaukee, you turn those two around, and instead of going 2-4 against the Rockies, you go 4-2 against the Rockies. And
you're right there, Brett.
We got drama this weekend.
I mean, we're invested in every game, and it's coming down to the wire.
That may be a bigger case of too many teams make the playoffs, if that's the case.
It really could be. I mean, Brett,
Cardinals, at no point during the year were a playoff team.
Brett, I was watching somewhere today, and they had a whiteboard out, and they were drawing out all of the situations that the Miami Marlins could get into the playoffs. Now, that is a reflection of too many teams in the postseason.
This year? Like this weekend?
Like if they go undefeated and other things work out for them, they could be in the playoffs because they're only 4 games back right now. And they have 4 games left in the season.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm not, because they play.
I follow this every day.
They play the Mets this weekend. So if they win out and sweep the Mets, and I think like 2 other things happen, they're in the playoffs. But they have to go undefeated the rest of the way.
Whoa, that was somebody with a lot more time than I've had this week.
A lot more time, because I didn't know, you didn't know. It is, but yes, I also think when you're talking about the Cardinals only a couple games away from being right there, and the Marlins.
Okay, now I can see 77-81. They win out 81-81. Mets lose out 81-81. Need Arizona to get nicked up. They got 4 left.
Yeah. So,
dang.
And supposedly they have tiebreakers.
Almost said something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But again, like I think those are the 2 examples of maybe there's too many teams making the playoffs in Major League Baseball. But it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But we got a super busy show this afternoon, so let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Pat Smith from Jocks down in Birmingham. He'll join us. We'll talk college football with him. We'll talk a lot about the Alabama-Georgia game this weekend, but we'll also talk Auburn and the rest of the SEC. A lot to get to with Pat Smith. 3:45, we'll take a look. Earlier today, it was released. The Tigers conference schedule came out earlier today, so we'll take a look at that. It's going to start towards the end of December. The first game will be against North Texas, so we will talk about that. The last game of the season will be at Tulane, so we will talk about that conference slate, what it looks like, how it sets up for this Tiger basketball team. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. He'll join us. We'll talk the NBA as camps are opening around the NBA. A lot of teams having media days earlier this week and into early next week, so we'll talk a lot of NBA news. 4:30, we'll get to an Ole Miss LSU preview, the big one this week. I mean, when you talk about the biggest games in college football, Ole Miss and LSU, it is right there. So a big one that we will discuss at 4:30. 4:45, we get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Greg Gaston. He'll join us to talk some Tigers. We'll recap what happened over the weekend against Arkansas. We'll talk a little bit about that FAU game. Brett saying we can't overlook it. We're gonna all learn the FAU fight song tomorrow afternoon. So we'll talk a little bit about this matchup against FAU. We'll also get Greg's thoughts on the Tigers basketball conference schedule that came out. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending. We'll talk probably a lot of Thursday night football, NFL during what's trending, and then we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The world's biggest spa sale. It's going on right now at Family Leisure. Spa starting at $29.99, and swim spas now up to 30% off. Floor model specials, they're going on as well. And head out there and purchase a cold plunge. Those cold plunges starting at $49.99. Receive a free umbrella with purchase of select patio furniture sets. And even though fall is knocking at the door, we're almost to where we're going to be needing jackets and sweatshirts. It's still a perfect time to purchase that swimming pool. Get ahead of time. Get ready for next year when you need that pool, because the clearance pricing, it goes through the end of October at Family Leisure. Buy now and save on that price increase. Don't forget about special financing. It's available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
We welcome you into Sports Time. We're live and local, and we're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will join us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. We're always, no matter where we are, we're always from our Family Leisure Studios. We're that today. We're that every day. Our producer is Landon Schmidt. He's Bryant. I'm Brett, and this hour is brought to you by, title sponsor brought to you by every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but they want you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025. 26 is on the way, LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, Brett, my top story of the day is the Ryder Cup. It gets started tomorrow morning. Bethpage Black is going to be rocking 6 a.m. The broadcast will start on USA. Finally, it starts, and we're just learning what the foursomes will look like tomorrow morning. So we'll start for Team Europe, John Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton. For the United States, Bryson DeChambeau and Justin Thomas. At about 6:30, Ludwig Aubert and Matt Fitzpatrick against Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley. After that, Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood versus Colin Morikawa and Harris English. And then the final group for Team Europe, Robert McIntyre and Victor Hovland against Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay. Those teams coming out just a couple minutes ago. It was announced on the Golf Channel as they did a little bit of a rollout for that. So looks like some intriguing matchups. You've got the team of John Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton. That's a wild group going up against another live guy in Bryson DeChambeau as he's paired up with Justin Thomas. You've got the young Ludwig Aubert going up against world number one Scotty Scheffler. Rory McIlroy going up against Colin Morikawa. And we kind of talked about Colin Morikawa yesterday and kind of who would they pair him up with? What would it look like over this weekend? Well, he's paired up tomorrow morning with Harris English. So I like these matchups, and it's going to get started very early tomorrow morning. And at this point tomorrow, we'll have a pretty good idea of how the weekend's going to start.
That crowd could get to a team that could run hot in Hatton and Rahm.
Yeah, it really could.
Both of them can get real fussy and cussy really easily. My top story, Cal Raleigh. He will be the AL MVP, and it's simple as to why. He's done something no other player's ever accomplished. A catcher with 60 home runs. A catcher. They call it the tools of ignorance for a reason. He's hit 60 home runs in the debate, and he did it for a division-winning team, the Mariners. In the ALCS, sign me up right now for Aaron Judge against Cal Raleigh. But for MVP, it's Cal Raleigh.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it's what your top story was, and it is what Cal Raleigh did last night. Brett, I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's what I learned today too, so don't be confused when I bring it back up at 5:45, but that's because I think this is so big, and I have seen people arguing since early before yesterday, and I think a lot of people saying that last night getting to 60 puts that debate to rest, but a lot of people still arguing about who the MVP should be. I don't think
the only non-Yankee to ever hit 60.
Only non-Yankee
in the American League.
A catcher, an everyday catcher who is a unbelievable catcher. I mean, this isn't a guy that they just, we got to find somewhere for him to play. He's either going to be DH or we'll throw him back there and take our chances. He is one of the better, if not one of the best catchers in Major League Baseball, defensive catchers in Major League Baseball. And for him to go out there and hit 60 home runs, we talked about it. We talk about it every year with a lot of these guys. But we had the questions around the All-Star game of, all right, he's in the home run derby. How's that going to affect his swing? Is that going to mess things up on the back half of the season? It didn't. He has been so consistent all year long, and what he's done down the stretch to get to 60, he still has a couple more days to improve that number before the end of the regular season. But what Cal Raleigh is doing up in Seattle, and I hope that it's not getting lost because it's up in Seattle. All their games are starting at 9 o'clock at night. I hope we are seeing this, we're witnessing it, we're all taking it in, because what Cal Raleigh's doing in Seattle, it's special. And last night on the postgame, they were already saying that this is going to be a guy that's going to go down as a franchise legend, that they're going to build statues of, that this is going to be a guy that we remember for a long time in Seattle.
Big Dumper Avenue in Seattle, huh?
Get ready for it, Brett.
My not top story, Cleveland. They chased down the Detroit Tigers. 175 days Detroit's had the lead or a share in the AL Central until last night. A 5-1 loss last night to Cleveland, 17 out of 19. Never a bad time for a 17 out of 19 run. But when you do it in September, good things almost always happen. We've had this a lot through the years, but this is the biggest collapse ever if Detroit continues it. Cleveland and Detroit in the wild card round, that could happen. Maybe then Detroit would gather themselves. They play again today starting at 5:40.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to watch. It's been all Guardians so far, but that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to a break, and when we return, we'll talk some college football. Pat Smith from Jocks, he joins us now.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, are you ready? Well, you should be, because it's time to load up and head for the games or hit the road with All-Star Chevy. All-Star Chevy right here in Olive Branch is getting you ready for driving season, for tailgate season, and everything in between. Come check out the all-new Tahoes and Suburbans, Traverses. All the Silverados are here. Financing as low as 0 or 3.9 and no payments for 90 days. 1.9 and no payments for 90 days on a new 2026 Equinox. And your good credit, of course, deserves it. Military and first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. And All-Star has the best of the best pre-owned and certified Chevys. Tons of Silverados, Tahoes, Equinoxes, even the sexy, sleek-looking Corvette Stingray. If you have any car or truck you want to sell, this is the best week, and All-Star Chevy is the best place to bring your title and get a big check today. Are you ready? Let's go together. Let's drive. Everything you want is here. All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Former CIA officer Jason Hansen here. In my line of work, I've seen firsthand how fast the world can change. With rising geopolitical tensions and inflation eating your buying power, it's time to take action. For me, that means gold. And for gold, I exclusively trust Advantage Gold. I urge you to do the same. Call them now at 800-900-8000 for a free gold guide to discover the security that comes with owning precious metals. Again, call 800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering is our specialty. Memphians have trusted Corky's to cater their events for 40 years because we make it easy for you and delicious for your guests. Whether it's 50 people or a crowd of thousands, our experienced team comes to your location, sets up, serves, and ensures everyone enjoys a Corky's all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $7.99 per person. You can't beat it. With 40 years of experience, it's easy to see why customers choose Corky's time and time again for all of their catering needs. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to book us for your next party.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Hey, I've got Rockin' Ronnie on the line at Gossett Hyundai South Mount Moriah. What's rockin' with you, Ronnie?
We are rocking some big savings at Gossett Hyundai Mount Moriah. 2025 Hyundai Sonata, $27,689 or $273,61 a month.
That sounds amazing. What else you got, Ronnie?
What about the new 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE, Randy? I've got it for $30,775 or $339 a month.
Another winner. What else you got?
I've got a 2026 Hyundai Santa Fe SE, only $345.54 per month.
And America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So it's time to get to Gossett Hyundai South and ask for Rockin' Ronnie. He'll take care of you and make you a great deal on a Hyundai at Gossett Hyundai south. 2660 Mount Moriah, or shop online anytime at HyundaiMountMoriah.com.
Sonata SA516 776, MSRP 28810, Santa Fe TH 162 611, MSRP 37285, Tucson TH 619 518, MSRP 31755. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only must finance through age of 8.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's really trying to build out here now in a couple of spots like 240 East from Mill Branch out to 385 as you get onto Bill Morris Parkway going outbound out towards the Collierville area. There is some rain showers already out here in rush hour traffic. There's spotted showers, so give yourself a little bit of extra time as it builds on Sam Cooper right now, especially going outbound. Weimer's Jewelry is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. Stop by and see them at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Going back into Sports Time, Brian Brett with you. We got to talk some college football, and we do it every Thursday with Pat Smith from Jocks down in Birmingham. Pat, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. A lot to get to, but let's go back to last weekend and talk about some of these games in the SEC. But let's talk about maybe the biggest injury right now in the SEC. John Mateer, we learned earlier this week, needed surgery on his throwing hand. It sounds like from him the surgery was successful, but no real timeline. I know some people hoping that maybe he could be back for Red River, but that seems like a long shot. What does this mean for this Oklahoma team, an undefeated Oklahoma team, going forward over these next couple weeks?
Always good to be with you guys on a Thursday. It means football is right around the corner, so excited to be with y'all today. All right, so John Mateer, I think that is going to ding Oklahoma. It's going to at least hit a bit of a pause on what we're thinking of Oklahoma moving forward. But listen, we saw his backup last year down at Auburn help engineer the Oklahoma Sooners to a victory against the Auburn Tigers. Remember, they took Jackson Arnold out of the game. And so Arnold he wasn't even the guy that got the big win against the Auburn Tigers last year. So we've seen him a little bit. The schedule works out for him. And listen, even if Mateer is not back and ready to go against Texas, we all know what the rest of that schedule looks like. And so I think they're going to be very deliberate and make sure that everything is hunky-dory, A-OK with Mateer before you put him back on the field. So, yeah, it doesn't look good right now for Oklahoma. But I was talking to a former Division I football coach literally 30 minutes ago, and I was asking him about Oklahoma's defense. And he says that the defensive front that Brent Venables has at his disposal, Oklahoma is going to be in every single game they play because that is a wrecking crew up front. And Auburn saw it firsthand. And Auburn's got one of the most experienced offensive lines in all of college football. And Oklahoma was able to get to Jackson Arnold 10 times last week. So I think their defense is going to keep them in some games. Try to just put your head above water until Mateer gets back. And I think Oklahoma still will be in that conversation come November.
And, Pat, we know, I don't think we could get a coach to admit it, but in the SEC, we pretty much know everybody's got two mulligans. You've got two losses that you can have. Oklahoma will go to the playoffs at 10-2, so they can let Mateer get good and well, really more toward down the stretch and come playoff time, more so than Kent State, and I know it's heresy, even Red River.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Brett. And think about this. Just 2 years ago, we would be calling this Saturday Separation Saturday because this was going to separate the men from the boys in the conference and for the college football playoff, because it would be unheard of if Alabama were to go to Athens and lose their second game of the year and you're not even in October. They're dead on arrival. There's no way that there's a chance that they could get to the college football playoff. Yeah, Bama fans are going to go crazy Monday on my radio show if they lose, but they're really technically not out of it. It's only their first game in conference play. Same can be said with whatever happens with LSU and Ole Miss. Them two teams taking their first loss. or perhaps it's even Tennessee against Mississippi State. I mean, there is so much time left in this gauntlet of a schedule that we've got to get out of the mindset of the old days of you got to go undefeated, you got to only lose one time. You got to have the NFL mentality now, which is, you know what, just survive in advance and get yourself into November, and hopefully those 3 losses, if you take them during the regular season, are to the right teams in the conference.
We saw it last year. Kirby Smart wanted to win. He didn't like how his team played, but the Ole Miss game did not devastate him at all. He knew he had a little wiggle room. Now in the Ole Miss world, you would want your 2 mulligans to be on the road at Athens, on the road at Norman, and then you take care of home against LSU, South Carolina, and Florida, and win the Golden Egg down in Starkville. That's kind of the Ole Miss mulligan math.
No, you're absolutely right. And we've learned that I know it changes every year, but the College Football Playoff Committee, they're going to look long and hard, especially when you don't hold serve at home. And just think about last year at how that loss at home to Kentucky really hurt Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I don't think it was so much losing in Gainesville. It was the Kentucky loss, you know? And, of course, it goes without saying, Alabama just didn't even get off the bus against Oklahoma, and losing to a 500 team and then losing to Vandy on the road, that doomed them. But once again, it was about not winning at home. It was just like it was a bad loss. I mean, it was a good loss for South Carolina against LSU at home last year, but it was the fact that you did lose at home. It seems like the College Football Playoff Committee, at least last year, they put more emphasis on that situation than a team going on the road, because keep in mind, Alabama was still in the conversation after taking that one of the ugliest losses of the year in the SEC at Oklahoma.
I don't think it'll be traditional rival weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, and it doesn't have to be that weekend before that still is rather cupcakey. But that Saturday, November 15th, I won't be able to prove this, but when I see it, I'll know it. There will even be some playing time roster sitting out, NBA term, maintenance game of let's get good and well for rivalry weekend and the first weekend of the playoffs.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I'm like you, Brett. We're going to be able to see it. It's going to be the eyeball test. We're going to see it. We don't want to see it. We've seen this developing over the course of the last few years. We had big-name players decide that they didn't want to go to battle with their brothers in bowl games, and I understand that because you've got the NFL draft coming up, so they opted out of that. And, of course, now once teams feel themselves in a situation whether, hey, we've got bigger fish to fry at the back end of the season, we could take an L if necessary. We're going to get everybody healthy and try to make a run in the college football playoff. We see it in the NFL, and you just mentioned it. The same thing happens in the NBA before they get ready for the playoffs. So we're going to see it. We're not going to like it, but I'm like you. You're going to be able to notice it when you do see it.
Well, it's a big one on Saturday for Alabama on the road against Georgia. Right now, Georgia 3.5-point favorite. How do you see this game playing out? Because Brett and I have talked about it a little bit this week, that this is a big game for, I think, how a lot of people view Alabama as we kind of enter this new era.
Yeah, I think it's a bigger game for Alabama than it is for Georgia. I think, again, Georgia folks are going to be upset because Kirby's going to go 1-7 against Alabama, which that's not going to set well. But coming off the big win on the road at Tennessee, I mean, just like last year, losing at Bryant-Denny Stadium and losing at Vaught-Hemingway, Georgia was fine at the end of the year. Of course, when Beck went out hurt, then it was the Gunnar Stockton show, and that was kind of a struggle against Notre Dame. But the point being is that for Alabama, the last 2 weeks have been, I call them palate cleansers. It's a situation where they were able to beat up on La Monroe, and they beat up on a hapless Wisconsin team. And now they got a little mojo back. They feel like they're confident. Now, they understand that the two teams they beat is not the University of Georgia, and they understand that this is going to be a dogfight and it's going to be a tough game. But it's going to tell a lot about Kalen DeBoer, because there has been a theme developing with this football team, especially when they go on the road. Now, the only time that they have bucked that trend was when they went down to Baton Rouge last year and they absolutely embarrassed LSU, and Jalen Milroe became a household name again. They need to go to Athens, and it's weird saying this about an Alabama football team but you've got to get off the bus and you got to play a 4-quarter football game. You cannot show up and lose a game like you did to the Seminoles. Florida State's a good football team, but some of the effort, some of the coaching, some of the things that we saw in that game really startled a lot of people that covered the Alabama football team. They got to see a 4-quarter game out of them. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, guys. I really do. Because if you look at the history of this, even with Kirby Smart as the head coach at Georgia, the winner of this football game, 5 of the last 6 years, they've scored at least 35 points. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think both defenses have question marks on the defensive front. They're not getting to the quarterbacks like you normally see with these two teams. So I think it's going to be a higher-scoring game. I think Georgia beats Alabama, and the reason why is because Kirby Smart and what he can do adjustment-wise, you saw it last time when they played in Neyland Stadium. I think whatever success Alabama might have offensively, I think Kirby's going to be able to make enough adjustments, and I think Georgia gets a very close win at home against Alabama.
Pat, now you know how I feel about this game, but we save our picks for 5:30 on Friday. I told Brian a little earlier when I joined you guys at 12:30 on Thursday, and I go with some picks. I almost feel like in the old days of the pro wrestling circuit in this area. On Monday night, you might be a bad guy, and then on Wednesday night in Louisville, you might be a good guy, and you might have a tag partner. That then on Friday night in Nashville, you kind of go against him. So I'm saving my pick on this one. I'll just say, Kalen DeBoer, he needs this one. And for Kirby Smart, if he doesn't get this one, then it really starts getting in your head that I can't beat them.
No, there's no question about it. And it's crazy that this rivalry has been the way it is. And on top of that, it's bad enough when you're a fan of a particular team, but you don't win against one of your rivals. But it's another thing when you don't cover. You know, you're a good team when you win, but you're a great team when you cover the spread. And Georgia has been favored in all of these games over Alabama. It's. Let me give you this great stat. I know you'll love this, Brett. So this is the 7th time in 16 years that Alabama has been an underdog. I didn't say 16 games. I said the 7th time in 16 seasons. And 6 of those have come against the Georgia Bulldogs. But look at all the times that Alabama has been able to beat Georgia and beat Kirby, not only beat him, but cover all of those spreads. So you're right. If Kirby does not win this game, there's going to be a lot of questions in regards to, again, not that you're going to get rid of Kirby Smart. I'm just saying the question marks of, once again, Alabama being in the head of Kirby Smart, and it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to be able to beat him.
And we saw it with really good Tennessee teams that couldn't beat Steve Spurrier. Sometimes you just run into that bugaboo team. Real quick before we have to get out, Pat, give us your thoughts on what you're hearing, what you can report about Sam Pittman, and your impressions of Trinidad Chambliss, who will get the start Saturday against LSU.
All right, let me start with Sam Pittman. The thing that I am hearing, I touched base to a couple people after the loss at Memphis. I keep hearing that they are not going to try to move and do anything mid-season with Sam Pittman. Now, again, that could change after the Notre Dame game. We'll see what happens there. But I feel like Sam Pittman is going to be at least maybe throughout the rest of the season, but we'll see what happens there. In regards to Trinidad Chambliss, man, it goes without saying, and we talked about this, Brett, when you left the show today after your segment, is the fact that we said that Chambliss, forget about Ahmad Hardy at Missouri, forget about Mateer at Oklahoma, but if you look at what Chambliss has been able to do coming out of the transfer portal and stepping in as a backup quarterback and actually performing better than Simmons, you got to say right now that Ole Miss has got the best player out of the transfer portal. I mean, we really firmly believe that right now. I've been thoroughly impressed, and I think they're going to have a big day coming up on Saturday against LSU. LSU's defense, obviously the better part of their football team, but I think they're in store for a very good afternoon if you're a hotty-toddy crowd coming up against LSU.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday. A lot of really good games, but that's certainly one of them. Pat, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next Thursday.
Sounds good, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you, Pat. Pat Smith with us from WJOX in Birmingham, where they talk college football 24/7 and 365, and they love leap year where they can talk it one more day, Bryant. That's all they talk. And isn't it something now that we have mulligans and we're talking it openly? It's real in the SEC. Oh, that's okay if you lose that one.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, and it's just kind
Used
of
to kill you.
Yeah, I mean it's another thing that's just changing in this new era of college football and college athletics, but certainly with college football now with the playoffs. I mean it really opens it up. I mean you would have never even thought about when we were in the BCS of it's just top two teams, they go and play. I mean you lose one game and that's a killer to the entire season. And now, I mean, up to 12 teams.
That was all through the Citrus Bowl.
That's exactly right. Now to 12 teams and likely expanding, it's like, okay, yeah, you can lose a game, maybe even two games, and you're still completely fine.
Pat Smith with us from Jocks. He was on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line where all our guests join, and you can text or call us at 901-360-8255. Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the hometown teams, proud of the Tigers' big win. Very proud of their association that almost from the first day into the Memphis market that they established, and it will be a long one. Very proud of that, and proud to be the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies. And Monday at Media Days will be fun to get back to FedEx Forum. Be more fun when we get back to FedEx Forum for the floor seat lounge at Grizzlies games where you can see those beautiful display cases, just a touch of what you can see at 4542 Poplar at 9,000 square foot store in Larwood. You get to see a little bit of it in the floor seat lounge at FedEx Forum, but you get to see all of it at Poplar and Perkins with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more since 1970 with all the great locations across the Mid-South. Sissy's, they offer a selection of diamonds, estate jewelry, and fine gifts. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Well, let's get to another break. When we return, the Tigers release their conference schedule for this upcoming season. We'll take a look at it, tell you about the big games on that conference schedule for Penny Hardaway and his team. We'll talk about that next on Sports Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations, fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad, or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe. Don't miss the 53rd Annual Pink Palace Crafts Fair at Audubon Park, September 26th through the 28th. Bring the whole family and enjoy 3 days of food, live music, and of course, shopping for one-of-a-kind arts and crafts from across the Mid-South. It's a Memphis tradition you don't want to miss. The Pink Palace Crafts Fair, September 26th through the 28th at Audubon Park. Sponsored by First Horizon Foundation, Friends of the Pink Palace, and your friends at Sports 56.
Everything today is technologically based. Well, except maybe you. If you're struggling with tech, no matter what kind, call Tech For You. Tech For You for TVs, home theaters, cameras, smart locks, digital storage, and more. Tech For You makes it simple and affordable. Call 697-9695. Make your home safe, comfortable, and up to date with Tech For You. Stop struggling with tech. Call 697-9695. Veteran-owned and operated Tech For You. Technology simplified.
All 650 acquisition fee, K4LX SE 183.3119, MSRP 24,440, K5LX T54 13,744, MSRP 28,750, Telluride SG 689,239, MSRP 38,255. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/2/2025.
Hey, you thinking about Kia? Well, you better be thinking about Jeff Allen over at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. I got him on the line right now. What's up, Jeff Allen?
How about this, Randy? 2025 Kia K4LX, $145 per month, 39 MPG highway. 2026 Kia K5LXS, $230 per month.
That's some great deals on K4 and K5. What else you got over there, Jeff?
How about 2025 Kia Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $298 per month. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease. Plus the all-new 2026 EV9, 72 months available with rates as low as 0%.
And they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
We're making it Sports Time. Brian Brett with you as we got a couple minutes left in this first hour, and we got to talk about the Tigers. The conference slate has been released. The American released all the schedules for the upcoming men's and women's basketball season, so we do now have what Memphis's conference schedule will look like. We already knew the opponents, but now we have the dates in front of us with the schedule. It will start, the conference slate will start on December 31st, a home game for the Tigers against North Texas. That's a Wednesday night, December 31st, against North Texas. Then
Do we know it's going to be at night, Brian?
I assume we know it's going to be at night. Well, I guess that's not. It's just New Year's Eve, so yeah, I don't. There's no times on here, so I do not know.
I just wonder if that might be matinee or.
Sure, it definitely could be. I did not put
fun New Year's Eve.
Sure, I didn't put two and two together that would be the last New Year's Eve.
Brian, you really know it. I mean, when college football, college basketball is getting close. Pop on ESPN, hit the college basketball link, and go to the Tiger schedule, and it's got it all. It's month by month, all there.
Yeah, no, I mean it is. It's come together. I mean we are very, very close. I can go to an individual team schedule. I cannot go to the actual everybody schedule. I'll get too excited, Brett. So I'm trying to hold off on that until we get a
and
little bit
the field of 68, day one, Monday, November 3rd.
Yeah.
We've got 9 a.m. tips.
Yeah, it's super early in the morning. It's going to be a fun opening day as they're.
Who they think they are, the Ryder Cup?
Well, it's a good question. They're certainly putting on their best Ryder Cup impression. But no, it'll be a lot of fun. It's right around the corner. I mean, soon, heck, Brett, in a week or two, we're going to start having these exhibition games start popping up around the country.
It's here.
So yeah, it is absolutely here.
I'm looking so forward to going to Grizzlies Media Day, and it's getting rolling. So open against North Texas at FedEx Forum, and then back-to-back, what I think problematical, could be trouble roadies at Rice at FAU.
Yeah, I mean, these are two teams that are kind of in a new era and kind of doing new things, and so yeah, I mean, I think they could certainly be trouble. It's going to be small,
kind of like
gyms.
last year at UTSA.
Yeah, it's going to be small gyms. It's going to be kind of different than what you're used to, and so yeah, those can definitely be problematic games for the Tigers if they're not dialed in and ready. And the nice thing about that is you will get the week off with the first one at Rice on Saturday, January 3rd, and then the second one not till the following Sunday at FAU, so you have a little bit of time to get ready for both those. Then, back-to-back home games against Temple and UTSA. We know Temple has been tricky for the Tigers at times. That's usually up there at Temple, but this time you get Temple at home, and so it's kind of the start of the season. Or the start of conference play. It's interesting because you got the home game against North Texas, then back-to-back road games, back-to-back home games, back-to-back road games, back-to-back home games, and then you kind of get a little bit out of that as you get into February. So it is a little interesting of how they have this set up for the Tigers, but they'll wrap it up March 8th, a Sunday at Tulane.
And don't forget, in February, go out of conference, out to Utah State on Valentine's.
Yeah, so that is, and so now you can kind of pinpoint that, and it's you're gonna look at that game, and that's gonna be a tough stretch because you've got Thursday, February 12th at North Texas.
Real tough.
Then you've got at Utah State, and then you've got Thursday at South Florida on Thursday, February 19th.
No favors here by the conference. Help the Tigers out a little having to go for that tough February road trip and have that sandwich between two that are laying and waiting for you.
Yeah, two tough non-conference games, 2 road games, 2 ones
that's bad from the league there.
Yeah, that is a tough break on the schedule for sure, and one that that one's going to be one we're talking about all year, and especially early in conference play. We'll all be pointing to that 3-game stretch, and then it's home against UAB, which will look different this year, but has certainly been tricky for the Tigers, and then home against Wichita State. So that 6-game stretch there, 5-game stretch is not an easy one for the Tigers at all.
And Jonah Dillon tweeted out the bracket for the men's postseason basketball tournament that will be in Birmingham. Boy, that's a different looking bracket, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like one of those that we always talk about, the WCC, and I think the Sun Belt has moved theirs that looks more like it. But,
it's stretched out over 5 days.
It certainly is, yes, and only 2 games every single day until you get to Sunday when you have the championship game. So it won't be a lot of action. You won't be, if you're going down there, you won't get a lot of bang for your buck with all the games every day. But it's certainly different. It'll certainly help out the Tigers.
You sure
top
won't
seed.
for covering it though. That might be better because, boy, those 4 games in one day. By the end of it,
oh yeah,
you don't know whether you're coming or going.
That's very true. It is a good point. But if you're we've talked about if you're the Tigers, especially with this type of bracket, how it's laid out, you definitely want to be one of those top 2 seeds, certainly one of the top 4 seeds in the American. Because if you're one of the top 2 seeds, you start in the semifinals. You're just sitting there and waiting until Saturday when you play your first game, and then you win that. You're into the finals. You don't have to worry about a lot outside of that. So really rewarding those top 2 seeds, and we've seen a lot of other conferences get to that as well. Well, we need to wrap up this first hour, get to a break, and when we return, we'll talk some NBA. Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show, he joins us next.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
I'm thinking back to school.
You mean the Rodney Dangerfield movie?
No, I'm trying to think of a theme for this month's Central Barbecue ad, and since it's September, I'm thinking back to school.
Well, it seems like you're kind of forcing it. What does going back to school have to do with Central Barbecue?
Well, get your school year started right by having Memphis' best barbecue.
I'm not hearing it.
Come on, it's a brand new year. Why not celebrate by getting the tastiest ribs in town at Central Barbecue?
It just sounds like a Central Barbecue ad, but with school shoehorned in.
Every student should enjoy some slow-smoked deliciousness.
Well, now that just sounds stupid.
You try writing a new Central Barbecue ad every month.
Just say Central Barbecue is good.
For school.
FX presents The Lowdown.
What I've uncovered is insane.
Starring Ethan Hawke.
Behind every great fortune
is a great crime. And from the co-creator of Reservation Dogs, Sterling Harjo.
Hidden tunnels, kinky sex stuff.
I don't know how it all connects, but till I do, I just keep bluffing.
FX's The Lowdown. All new Tuesdays on FX. Stream on Hulu.
If you're looking for a cool new ride, run, don't walk to Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. Get your 2025 Taos S. We Gossett $236 a month. How about 2025 Jetta Sport? We Gossett $239 a month. Plus a Gossett Volkswagen Covington Pike 2025 Atlas Cross Sport SE $279 a month. And every 2025 Atlas Peak Edition and SEL Atlas $5,000 off MSRP. That's all 2025 Atlas Peak Editions and SEL Atlas $5,000 off MSRP. So run, don't walk to Gossett Volkswagen 1875 Covington Pike or online GossettVWMemphis.com, where we're charging forward and charging less every day. If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Volkswagen.
All 36 monthly, 7,500 miles, 25 cents excess mileage. Taos S SMO 56598, MSRP 27011. Jetta SMO 851,138, MSRP 25916. Cross SC 230,120, MSRP 39206. Peak Editions SEL Atlas 3,500 manufacturer rebate, 1,500 Gossett discount includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Volkswagen credit. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 9/30/25.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Trying to build with more volume here in the last few minutes. Certain sections of Midtown right on schedule, actually, on 240 South and South Parkway. I-40's trying to pick up westbound and Danny Thomas, working your way across the I-40 bridge over into West Memphis, Crittenden County. A few rain showers out here mixed in with rush hour traffic. Give yourself a little extra time, slow it down. Zips Car Wash, that's where I go, and so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check out zipscarwash.com. Find a location near you. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers, Ford, and Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Thursday afternoon. We got to talk the NBA camps opening, media days happening around the league. We know the Grizzlies will have their media day on Monday. But let's go ahead and talk some NBA with Keith Smith.
Time to talk NBA with Keith Smith from Spot Rack and the Front Office Show, and on Twitter X at Keith Smith NBA. Here's Keith Smith talking basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Smith joins us now from Spot Track and the Front Office Show to talk the NBA. And Keith, a lot of excitement, camps opening, media days all over the place. But unfortunately, we got to talk about injuries. They're popping up around the NBA, and maybe the biggest, Fred VanVleet, tore his ACL in a minicamp in the Bahamas, will miss the season. What do you make of that news for this Rockets team that's gotten a ton of buzz this offseason? And is there a replacement out there that they can maybe trade for, or is his replacement already on this roster?
Yeah, for the first part of your question, this is brutal for the Rockets. They simply are, they're not going to be as good without Fred VanVleet. And I've seen some people, suggest, he doesn't really shoot it the way he used to anymore, and he's not as good as he used to be. But the reality is he's still a good starting level point guard. He's still a guy who is really helpful on the floor, still really, does good stuff for his team. And now the Rockets are going to be without him. And that's huge because Fred VanVleet is at a position where the Rockets don't have a ton of depth. And to the second part of your question, can they get somebody? They can, but it's going to cost them rotation guys to be able to do it. Because they made so much roster changes and then re-sign guys, half of their roster can't be traded right now. They're also barely under their first apron hard cap. So they are really kind of stuck at this point with what they have. And that means that they're going to have to go forward at least probably for the first 2-3 months of the season with what they have on the roster internally. And that's guys like Amin Thompson, hoping to get more out of him as an on-ball playmaker, which was the role he was supposed to be in coming into the league. And they kind of turned into this do-it-all positionless guy. And then Reed Shepard last year's a very high draft pick. They need to get a lot out of him as well. So I think we're going to see how this kind of comes together for the Rockets, but they're going to have to lean on their internal options.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard, but you're right. They have some young, talented pieces that especially with Reed Shepard, didn't see a lot of time last year. Some other injuries out there in the NBA. Tyler Hero will miss the start of the season with a foot injury. Not as much on Tyler Hero because it doesn't sound as serious, certainly not as serious as Fred VanVleet. But what do you see with this Miami team this season? You look at the last couple of years and certainly not the seasons that they would want to have, but bringing back a lot of the same characters. They did go out yesterday and sign a former Memphis Tiger, Precious Achiuwa, who is developed into a pretty reliable role player in the NBA. What do you see from this Heat team this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think kind of more of the same. They getting Norman Powell obviously now takes on a much bigger importance. They needed someone else at that guard position to pick up for Hero, so that's going to be helpful, obviously, having him in the fold. And then we'll see, how long they can go. But there's just not enough high-end talent on this Heat team. It's Tyler Hero's an all-star, but he's one of those all-stars where it's like, yeah, he's an all-star, but it's, no one's thinking of him as an all-NBA level guy. No one's thinking of him going to, like, the next level of all-star. So it's good. And then Bam Adebayo, very good player, but just not one of those kind of true superstars in any sense of the word. So they are in a spot where they've got to kind of figure it out here. And I think Miami knew this reset was coming after they traded Jimmy Butler, and they're now kind of leaning heavily into that.
A lot of lists coming out, and Brian and I spent a long time talking the Tim Bontemp story the other day about the poll of various league officials. But you see a lot of the top 10 lists, and I'm reading here the kind of the LeBron James synopsis. 23rd year in the league, Keith. That's remarkable. I mean, to be in a top 23, and he's 8th in year 23.
It's absurd. It doesn't even make sense at this point. It's one of those things where we're getting up there with LeBron James longevity numbers, and he's not just hanging around. Like, the guy for me when I was a kid was Robert Parrish. He was just on rosters for a lot of years at the end because he was a good locker room guy that everybody really liked to have around, but nobody was really looking for him to do very much. Well, LeBron is still, if the Lakers are going anywhere, it's going to be a big part of because LeBron was still really good, and it's now hitting the point where you look at some of the NBA records and it's like, oh yeah, and then you got Wilt Chamberlain, did this 50 times or whatever it is, and crazy things. That's where we're getting to with LeBron James as far as, the number of years he's playing and things like that, and continuing to play at an extremely high level.
Jalen Brunson at 10, is that right on, or is that heat of the moment? Is that New York, or is it correct?
I think part of what is in play there is some other guys, they were clear they did not pick for this year, like Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, because those guys are out on long-term injuries. Kyrie Irving was another one. Those guys may have all kind of pushed Jalen Brunson down a little bit, but top 15 or so for Jalen Brunson, sure, that feels about right for me. He's one of the best guards in the league. He's led the Knicks to really good success over the years, and I think Jalen Brunson is a really good player. So I don't have any real issue with that placement for him on this list, especially knowing a handful of other guys that they kind of ruled ineligible for this year.
Keith Smith, our guest on the NBA. He's our guest year-around on the NBA, and we so enjoy it, and it's always so informative. He's on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, and we're getting really close to his time of year. It's always your time of year with the NBA, but we're getting close to games, and you get no sleep, and you say goodbye to your family until June, it feels like. Keith, Brian and I were talking about the Bontemps list, and one of the remarkable things is this is when we thought Ja Morant was going to be on all these lists, 5, top 10, best player on the way to the Hall of Fame. Things happened along the way, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was Jaw has been the injuries that have kept him out, and then obviously the off-court stuff that put him out for a while. And I think where, I'm going to knock on wood here, but hopefully we're in a spot where the off-court stuff is over and done with. We've matured, we've moved on. We're not going to continue. Yeah, and then the injuries, you hope we get past them, but I've been doing this a long time, watching even longer. Sometimes guys never get past it, and then we just end up in a spot where it is, we're 10 years in, and it's like, that guy never really was able to put it together to stay on the floor consistently, and that's where it gets really tough, and that's where, for him to get to these levels, and if the Grizzlies are going to get to be where they want to be as a franchise, they need that. They need him to, get and stay on the floor more consistently year over year.
For him, he's never appeared in more than 67 games. Is it that important? Is 70, 71? What's the number of games for him, for it to really matter for him and this team this year?
Yeah, I mean, the league kind of set it for us, right, where they said it's 65 with the rules for award voting. So that's where I'll set the marker at around 65
I like
games.
that.
And yeah, and if it's 65, all right, that's what we got to do. We got to get on the floor for that long, and that'll be kind of where it is, and then we go forward from there. And I think that's about right for a guy like John Morant. It a lot of people talk about the comp for him almost since he came in the league has been Allen Iverson, because they're both smaller, quick, very athletic, speedy guards. And a lot of people have said, AI played all the time. And then I look at it and said, and his career was effectively over about 10 years in. That's not where we want to be, right? We want to have John Morant play for 15, 20, 25, or 25 is too many, but 15 to 18 years, right, at a high level. And that means that then you want it to be a position where, all right, he was able to do that because they did take care of him. And in today's NBA, 65 games, 70 if a guy's feeling really good and they can manage the back-to-backs and all the rest of it that comes with that, that's about where we're at.
I like that 65 demarcation for you because, as you said, that's what the league established. So I'll go with that. I'd sign up for 65 right now from him. Bigger year for Zach Kleiman or Tomas Isolo?
Zach Kleiman, I think. I think we're at the point with the Grizzlies where we're kind of getting into put up or shut up time. Like we got to start seeing more results than just we're a good regular season team. We really need this to be, all right, we're starting to win at a high level all the time now, and we're starting to win playoff series. It almost doesn't matter if they're, 6th, 7th, 8th seed. If they can pull off a series win or two in the playoffs, then everybody's going to be okay, right? Everybody's going to be like, all right, here we go. Let's go. We did what we had to do, and that's where, I think if we're really kind of looking at it, we need to see, the Grizzlies get to a place where it's that consistent success. And Tomas Isolo is going to have a little bit of time to kind of work through things. I think they're going to kind of, give him a little bit of time. But what we really need is we need to see Zach Kleiman's roster building kind of come together in a place where, all right, the Grizzlies are here, they're ready, and off we go.
Keith, I really believe if the Grizzlies got to the playoffs, won a series, and just competitive in that second series, 4-2 even, and the exit game is a real competitive, really kind of similar to last year against Oklahoma City. I mean, it was 4-0, but the Grizzlies competed. I think that would satisfy. I know it would satisfy me. I think it would satisfy a lot of people. Should it?
That's one where you kind of look at it and you say, all right, well, let's do a little bit of context. Because if, let's say, they kind of, everything comes together for them and they run through and they're the number 2 seed in the regular season and go into the playoffs, well, yeah, you should expect to win the first round and probably be pretty good in the second round. If they come in as somewhere from the 4th through 8th seed in the playoffs, then you're very happy if that's your outcome, where it's win a series and go forward from there. And I think they've kind of set the stage for a little bit of a reset here. They moved on from Desmond Bane. They picked up a bunch of draft capital. But what fans are going to come back and say eventually is, hey, with Desmond Bain, we maybe could have been a little bit better. He's that good of a player. So, where are we kind of headed with this? And that's going to be something where I think what you're going to look at with the Grizzlies is they're going to have to prove that, all right, we're on the right path, and then they can turn those draft picks into something, because fans are not going to wait over the course of the next 5-6 years for all those picks to deliver to feel good about those guys coming in.
Yeah. Talking to Keith Smith, he joins us every Thursday to talk the NBA from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. We're talking about Ja Morant and his injuries throughout his career. Another guy in that same draft class, Zion Williamson, has dealt with a ton of injuries, but we saw him at Pelicans media days, and he looks good. He looks in super shape.
New human.
I mean, he really does. He looks really, really good. Could this be the year? Because, I mean, when he's on the court, when he's playing, he is one of the best players in the league. Is this the year that we see a year of healthy Zion?
Brian, I got a real nice piece of land in the Everglades I'd like to sell you. And a bridge in Brooklyn I got a good deal on, too. It's I don't know. I mean, I hope so, right? That's a snarky answer, but I really hope so with Zion. I want to see him play a lot. We've seen him play in a good amount of games twice in his career, and he looked really good in those times. But this is year 7 for Zion Williamson, and he has not played a single playoff minute. The one time the Pelicans made the playoffs while he's been there, he was hurt. He got injured in the play-in tournament, wasn't able to play. So it's got to happen. We're kind of getting to now or never time for him and in the Pelicans, and obviously they have that contract structured the way it is so they can move on from him without a whole lot of money on the cap sheet if they want to do so. I don't think it would come to just straight waiving him. I think it's more likely there'd be a trade that comes down the line. But yeah, we got to see it. Like, we got to get there, and the only way for him to do it is be on the floor, because we know when he plays, he's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
But if he's only going to play 25, 30 games, then it doesn't really matter. We need it to be, again, kind of like with Ja Morant. Like, give me 65 games, and I'm going to feel pretty good about that.
Oh, absolutely.
It just wasn't supposed to be this way for Ja and Zion 1 and 2 that year, and that the night of lottery night, we were crushed. Then we were so elated at what we got, the next transcendent superstar, and for neither one, it just wasn't supposed to be this way, Keith. Yeah,
this is the best laid plans of mice and men. It just really is, one of those things where it's, you look at it and you're like, yeah, I wanted to see, those two guys and these two franchises, which have become pretty linked over the years, doing battle and being a, absolute, rivalry, coming forward over the next, several seasons. And it just never kind of came together because the Pelicans never really got there, even despite Ja Morant's issues and, a couple of disastrous years with injuries. The Grizzlies have been a pretty solid team. They've been a team you can kind of say, oh, yeah, they're a playoff group. But the Pelicans, you never really got there, and it kind of feels like, we're just not going to get that rivalry to develop with those two guys just because of where they're kind of stuck right now.
Going back to the list for 1 second, Keith, Brett mentioned some of the top 10 guys. Cooper Flagg coming in at number 52. I know a lot of people are talking about that. Is that real? Is he really, in your mind, the 52nd best player in the NBA going into the season, or is that just hype around number 1 pick and out of Duke and kind of the stardom of Cooper Flagg?
Yeah, I think that's a little high. I think, we might be talking about him like that by the time we get to the end of this season, but I don't like with any rookies putting that kind of on them. But, I mean, that's where it's been. I mean, we've been talking about Cooper Flagg for 3 years now about what he's going to be like, in the NBA. When he showed up at Montverde Academy 2 years ago and played 2 years there, it was like, all right, this kid's going to be something special. And then he's done nothing but get better since then. And I think for a lot of the more casual type fans, he came on their radar when he played against the USA team because he was part of the select team. And they're like, yeah, this kid's for real. And then they see him at Duke, and now we see him. He's going to be really good. I have no doubt about that. And I think he'll probably be really good as a rookie. But, 50th best player, that's tough. Because if you think about it, right, we only have roughly 24 players that make the All-Star team. And maybe we bump it up a couple if there's injuries. I mean, you're talking, you're saying, all right, he's pretty close to being an all-star. And maybe he will be within a year or two. I don't know, but I do think eventually he'll live up to that ranking and, obviously much, much higher.
Who's your number one player?
Probably Nikola Jokic. I said the other day on our show, NBA Front Office show, that you could tell me Jokic, SGA, Giannis, or Luka, and I'm not going to fight you too hard on any of the four of them. I don't know how anybody could make a list of the best players and not have those guys somewhere in their top four. The order, that can be argued, but I think those guys are, pretty clearly the top four players. And then, if he was healthy, I'd have Jason Tatum as fifth on that list. And what's interesting there is Jason Tatum then becomes your first U.S.-born player, and he's fifth on the list. That just shows how much of an international game that we have in the NBA and worldwide for basketball. And it's to me that's pretty great that's where we're at. But Nikola Jokic is he's so special, and everything he does is great. Giannis is great. Luka, when healthy, that's been the only thing. And then SGA just went to a whole different level last year, and obviously with the title and the MVP. Give me any one of those four guys, and I'd be pretty happy.
And that world aspect of the NBA highlighted by Victor Wembanyama spending 10 days, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, at a Shaolin temple in Zhengzhou, China.
Yeah, hey, whatever he needs to do. I just want to see him play. Right?
Me too.
If that gets him in the right place to get back on the court, let's go. It sounds like by all accounts, everything that went on with him with the shoulder and the deep vein thrombosis stuff is all cleared up, and he's going to be ready to go. And last we saw, Victor Wembanyama was, doing some stuff. And there are times when, I've done this a long time, and I watch a lot of basketball. No player in the last 10 years has made me pause and then rewind to be like, did that just happen? The way that Wemby does. So, I mean, he is something really, really special.
Yeah, he is incredible. You mentioned Jason Tatum, Keith. Earlier this week, he was doing an interview, was asked about playing this season, and said that he is not completely eliminated the idea of playing this upcoming season for the Celtics. Do you think that's just talk, or do you think that if the Celtics are in the mix late in the season and he gets cleared, that we could see Jason Tatum back out on the floor?
So I don't know if you saw the follow-up after that when he said, yeah, I'm already doing some on-court stuff. It feels like I'm starting to ramp things up.
Oh, I did not
Which
see
is, I mean, this is incredible. I mean, this, when you tear an Achilles, it has been, for my entire, sports fandom, it's a year. And it's a year before we see him. But they said at the time, when they announced the next day that he had already had surgery and that within, I think it was 3 days of that, he would begin the rehab process. They said that's to quicken his return, not in any way of rushing him or anything like that, but that he is going to be able to start moving. And then you've had, I call them the Twitter doctors, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like people who are actual medical professionals who share their knowledge and insight. And a couple of them said, yeah, if you look at his gait and you hear about the things he's already doing, and then one of his own doctors checked in and is like, he's doing these double calf raises that are incredible. And he said part of it is because he was in such great shape before the injury that there was nothing to really build up around. It was just, start going. And there are some who suggest that he could be back, sometime around the first of the year.
Holy
now,
cow.
all of that, I will say, is, and Jason Tatum said this part conveniently got kind of cut out of a lot of the quotes, where he's like, I will not come back unless I'm 100% cleared. The Celtics have said that. Brad Stevens, today, they met with the media, and Brad Stevens said, yeah, we're not putting any kind of timetable on him, but we just know he's attacking his rehab incredibly well. And that, when you even get that much out of Brad Stevens, that starts to get people kind of excited. What I think they're going to do with Jason Tatum is, I think there's a chance, and you guys went through this with Brandon Clark coming off his own torn Achilles. I think we will see him play this upcoming season at the end of the season, where it's just, if nothing else, it's get out there and get over it, right? Get over your return, knock the the rust off, get that confidence that, all right, I'm playing again. That way, when you go into the summer, you go into the preseason, you're not doing it then. It's already been done, and you move on. I don't think, I've heard some people say, well, maybe they'll bring him back for the playoffs. And you're not going to throw a guy in who hasn't played all year into the most intense environment we have in the NBA and be like, all right, go ahead and go, no matter how good he is with that. But I do think there's a chance we're going to see him play by the end of this season.
Wow, that's incredible. Because like you said, I mean, for so long it's been you're out for an entire year if you get that type of injury. So yeah, that will definitely be a storyline to be watching around the middle of the season. Well, Keith, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the weekend. Next week when we talk to you, we will already have a preseason game in the book. So we're getting very close to games. I know we're excited about it.
We want box score breakdown next week of all the preseason games.
Yeah. Well, I'll be watching, so I'll be ready.
I know you will.
It's, we are, this is it. I said to, a friend of mine is like, oh, well, you're about a month from the season starting. I was like, no, the season's already started. We're here, and I can't wait.
We're here. Thanks, Keith. We'll do it next week.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you. Keith Smith with us every Thursday. What a treat getting close to Grizzlies time, Tiger basketball schedule. Bryant, we're getting close to the crossover. We're getting close to all the October baseball.
Yes, we are.
Don't we love it?
Oh, man, it's one of the best times of the year when you just got whatever you like, you got it. You can find it, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, throw hockey in there. I mean, everything is going on at the same time, so it could not be better.
How many times a year do we say it's the best time of year?
Well, we say it too many. I think every time of the year is the best time of the year.
Well, it is.
One way or the other. So.
And we love all the seasons and all the teams and we have I think you can tell we have a passion for it. This hour we have a passion for our title sponsor this hour. That's Landers Ford in Collierville. And in about 24 hours and 4 minutes. Brad Bellamy's going to be with us with the Friday Landers Locks, and he's been good all year long. Landers Ford, the #1 Ford dealership in the Mid-South. They've got a vehicle that'll fit any lifestyle. It's the trusted destination for so many. It should be for you, and repeat customer after repeat customer. That seamless shopping experience from vehicle choice to financing and service. And on the day of the sale, it's not like you're going to the doctor. They get you in your car, and you're gone in your new car very, very quickly. From the Ford Escape to the rugged F-150 to the adventurous Bronco, every vehicle built Ford tough. Ford F-150, America's best-selling truck. SUVs like the Ford Escape, the Ford Expedition, Ford Broncos, the Ford Explorers, EVs, hybrids. And we got to get all these great vehicles serviced. And when you do, oil changes, tires rotated, you can go online and schedule when it suits you the best to meet your busy schedule. Landers Ford, active in the community in Collierville, 2082 West Poplar Avenue, or you can visit LandersFordMemphis.com. They said the game watching last Saturday was epic out at Landers Ford. Some Razorback fans in there too, but a lot of Tiger fans, as always. If it doesn't say Landers, you pay too much.
Well, we need to get to another break, and when we return, we got to start looking at this weekend in college football. We got to break down this big one, Ole Miss and LSU. It's going to be a massive game down in Oxford. We'll break it all down next on Sports Time.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Former CIA officer Jason Hansen here. In my line of work, I've seen firsthand how fast the world can change. With rising geopolitical tensions and inflation eating your buying power, it's time to take action. For me, that means gold. And for gold, I exclusively trust Advantage Gold. I urge you to do the same. Call them now at 800-900-8000 for a free gold guide to discover the security that comes with owning precious metals. Again, call 800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Family Leisure doesn't do anything small. It's always got to be big, just like the world's biggest spa sale. Happening right now at Family Leisure. Check this out. You can get spas starting under $3,000. Spas and even swim spas, they're up to 30% off. Floor model spas have even bigger special prices. Cold plunges are all the trend right now. Take the plunge starting under $5,000. You see a patio furniture set you like? You could get a free umbrella with it. Ask an associate for details. Plus, swimming pools are clearance price now through the end of October. Get yours before the prices increase. That is, with any big sale, special financing, it's available. The only thing small during the world's biggest spa sale at Family Leisure are the prices. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Still building out of Midtown with more volume in the last few minutes, pretty much on schedule. I-40 at Chelsea, working your way south of Memphis is on the increase on 55, down through South Haven into DeSoto County. Yes, there's some rain out here in rush hour traffic, so give yourself extra time as it gets heavier on 240 here in both directions, actually east and westbound on 240 up by Poplar. Hey, Zips Car Wash, that's where I go, and so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check out zipscarwash.com. Find a location close to you. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, it's a big one in Oxford on Saturday. Ole Miss and LSU. We know that these games have been wild over the last couple of years. We got to start breaking it down. And, Brett, we've talked about it a couple of times since it was officially announced or officially reported yesterday. Trinidad Chambliss will start again for the Ole Miss Rebels, his third straight start for the Rebels. And so far, through 2 games, he has been remarkable with what he's been able to do at the quarterback position.
He has been. He's been really, really good. He's got it. He'll be fine on Saturday. He'll be fine in the big games. But it's still because Austin Simmons is not close to 100%, and Coach Kiffin's not going to play Austin Simmons until he is, because with the ankle, until you get it good and well, you're just doing more damage, and they don't want to do any damage, on the back end, because just like Young and Matt Corral's career, we know that Lane can work with Austin Simmons and make him better and better through the years, so they don't want to do anything to hurt it. LSU with a 7-game win streak. That's the longest for the Tigers since winning 16 in a row in 2018, 2019. It's the longest for LSU under Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly and Lane Kiffin, they're not strangers at all. They battled it out at USC and Notre Dame and have it through the years at Ole Miss and LSU. Last year's game, overtime. Look, it was soul crushing to be on the defeated end side of it. But if you watch that game, I don't know anybody that was there that didn't care, because it was a lot of passion in the building. But if you didn't care who won, it was a remarkable game to watch into overtime at Tiger Stadium, the same as 2 years ago in Oxford when Ole Miss was down 9 with about 4.5, 5 minutes to play, 6 minutes or so to play, and came back and won. This is the earliest that Ole Miss and LSU have ever faced each other since playing September 24th, 1938. And this is going to stand a while, because this week with the announcement of the permanent opponents, of course, Ole Miss and LSU, they should be, and Ole Miss and State, they are and they should be. Oklahoma left everybody kind of scratching their head. Hadn't played that much, but okay. Everybody thinks this is going to go back around the Halloween date where the famous Billy Cannon punt return was in 1959 down at Tiger Stadium on Halloween night that year. And around that date's kind of been carved out about a week later, the last 10 or so years for LSU and Bama. Well, LSU and Bama aren't going to be permanent. So people think it's going to be somewhere around Halloween. That night in 1959, how about this one? This will be the first time that both teams go into the game undefeated and untied since 1959 when it was then number 1 and 7-0 LSU beating number 3 and 6-0 Ole Miss 7-3 on Halloween night.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing.
It's big one Saturday.
Sure.
And, some in the Ole Miss world kind of irritated about not being the Saturday night game. For right now, this could be the expiration date for it. This year could be it. Well, it's going to be it because it's not going to be – I don't think Bama and Georgia – I know they're not permanent. They might play next year, though. I think they do. But this is the last time that everybody kind of gets out of the way for Georgia and Bama if Bama doesn't do their thing.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. We've talked about it, a ton about how we're starting to see the change play out of this isn't the Alabama that we've known for the last however many years. It's different now.
It's hard getting used to.
It's very hard getting used to. And I think, if we see a big-time Georgia win on Saturday, then I think that's going to even speed things up. And so, yeah, it's going to be different. But, this matchup, 2 undefeated teams, both teams 4-0, and, Ole Miss this would be their 3rd conference game, 2-0 in conference play. LSU with that win over Florida being their only conference game they've played. So, yeah, a lot on the table, a lot on the line. And, I mentioned it starting the segment. These games have been thrilling over the last couple of years, and I feel like this one is gonna be right there with some of the games that we've seen. A couple years ago, what was it, the Jaden Daniels game that was so much fun? I mean, this
2 years ago.
This feels like it's going to be just like one of those games.
That game was so wild, and Trey Harris was so good. And Sunday, when Dart gets his start, it's Dart and the Giants against Trey Harris and the Chargers.
Oh, wow. I
hope somebody gets a pre or post game good pick of them.
Yeah, somebody will be on
they're
that.
big buddies.
Yeah, that'll be a good picture. That'll make its way around. I'm sure after the game when everybody's a little more cooled down and a little post game chatter. This is going to be a good one. And, this line has been moving around. It opened with LSU being the favorite. Now it looks like Ole Miss is a slight favorite in this one. So, line kind of bouncing around. Vegas kind of opening it with LSU. People jumping on Ole Miss. So, this will be a really fun matchup. The ESPN Analytics matchup predictor gives Ole Miss a 73% chance to win this game. So, it feels like it's going to be one that comes down to the wire.
If the LSU defensive line mauls the Ole Miss offensive line, then LSU wins, and I think they win easily. The Ole Miss offensive line, they've got to fight to a kind of a draw, or just lose a little bit on points, but they cannot get knocked out.
No, they definitely can. I know that's been a question about this Ole Miss team is, how good is this offensive line?
Because then that affects Trinidad Chambliss.
It definitely does.
It's been pretty cozy for him so far.
Yeah, it has.
Let's see if he has to get up and scrape sod out of his face mask.
Yeah, and you don't want that for any quarterback, but you certainly don't want it for your backup quarterback that, like you said, has been playing great. But this is going to be, a jump up in level of competition than what he's seen over the last couple of weeks. And he's got to be ready for it. But, number 4 LSU is a lot different than Tulane and Arkansas. So, it's going to be tougher, and he's going to be under a lot more pressure. But, if he can continue doing what he's doing, it's going to be a big story next week.
And that LSU defensive line, I don't blame them. They hit him hard.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to say, we're not Tulane. No. Somebody's going to say, we're not Arkansas. Somebody's going to say, we're not Kentucky. We're not Georgia State. Somebody's going to say, we ain't Slippery Rock.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. And so, this will be his toughest test, going back to since he's gotten to college on any level. So, it's not going to be easy, and, that's going to be.
And you love the backup quarterback until there's adversity.
Yeah, and so that's going to be something to watch, especially early in this game, is, how does he get his footing early? Can Ole Miss kind of start the game fast? Can they protect him? Can you get some points on the board? Get that confidence. I think he's already got a ton of confidence in him, but if you can, go down, have a couple successful drives early against this LSU team, then I think you're really looking good. And, I'm curious about this LSU offense. There's been real questions about this LSU offense. You look at who they've played this year, Clemson, the offense didn't look very good against that Clemson team, and then since then really haven't played anybody in Selah, Louisiana Tech, and Florida. Florida was the closest game out of those three, and so how does this LSU offense look against Ole Miss's defense? And can Ole Miss's defense come up with some stops and some early turnovers and really build a lot of confidence early in this game?
And can Ole Miss run the ball and get Trinidad Chambliss in cozier type situations? Mm-hmm. He hadn't been close to a pick. He hadn't been rushed. He's been really, really confident and steady in the pocket, and already racking up pretty big numbers. He's 42 of 62, 719 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks.
It's been great. I mean, I don't think anybody could have imagined a better start for him, coming in with the injury to Austin Simmons. And so, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot tougher, but, his confidence, his moxie, what he brings out there, I think is huge. And so I think that's going to help him a lot against this Ole Miss team, but it certainly won't be easy for him.
No, it won't be easy. Was it Ferris State led the Bulldogs to a 14-1 campaign last year in a national title, but it'll be different Saturday against LSU. He knows that, though.
Much respect to Ferris State, but LSU is a completely different competition. So it's going to be a fun one. I mean, I mentioned the line right now, how it's jumping around, and I think it's placed perfectly because I really do think this game is going to be a toss-up.
It's going to be fun. It always is. A little bit like the Arkansas rivalry with Ole Miss. You just know it's going to come down to not fourth quarter, but the last 40 seconds.
Oh, yeah, no. This one, it's going to be a last play type of game.
Yeah, and 2 years ago, it was the game that, Lane had won a lot of games already before that, but it was the one that really everybody, Ole Miss has got something special with Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss and LSU update breakdown is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware. Shop locally with your friends at East Memphis Ace Hardware at 5143 Quince in the Quince Station Shopping Center, where the nice people are, where they're so very helpful with knowledgeable employees that with that customer loyalty program that you need to be a part of. We all want that kind of old-fashioned hardware store feel. We've got it. We've had it at East Memphis Ace Hardware. Go by, stick your head in Saturday morning before the games begin and say hello to everybody there. It's what Janelle and Jarrett Carter have built. Plants, tools, lawnmowers, grills, and for the weekend, get your grill. Get ready to get grilling and have fun over the weekend with the Big Green Egg. They'll set it up for you. They'll deliver it to you. Traeger, gas grills, charcoal grills, flat top grills, Weber, Blackstone, East Memphis Ace Hardware with everything you need to get cooking. Knowledgeable advice on how to choose that perfect grill for you or anything in that store for you. Outdoor power equipment, paint and supplies, tools, and decorate your yard for football season, basketball season with Tigers and all the SEC yard decor. And they can get any you want. You got Ohio State guy, they can get it for you. Outdoor living with patio furniture, coolers, all the great brands, Toro, Milwaukee, and Steel. Ace really is the helpful place in East Memphis Ace Hardware, the local friendly place at 5143 Quince in the Quince Station Shopping Center at Quince and White Station.
Let's grab another break. When we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
If you're a homeowner, you know it took years of saving, planning, and hard work to get in the door. Then make that house a home, right? Now, all that effort has built something hugely valuable. Equity. It's the portion of your home you truly own that you can tap into to fund what's next in your life. And Rocket Mortgage is here to help you turn your home's equity into cash. So fund your next dream with Rocket Mortgage. Go to rocketmortgage.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, Equal Housing Lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Looking for a new ride for less than $5 a day? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 2025 Kia K4 LX, $145 a month, 39 mpg highway. 2026 Kia K5 LXS, $230 a month, and 2025 Kia Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $298 a month. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease. Plus, we got it the all-new 2026 EV9. 72 months available and rates as low as 0.00. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, K4 LX SE 183.3119, MSRP 24,440, K5 LXS T54 13,744, MSRP 28,750, Telluride SG 689,239, MSRP 38,255. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/2/2025.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
All right, Brett, my big number today is the number 3. It comes from the NFL and tonight's Thursday night football game. The Seahawks' Jackson Smith-Njigba, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, has at least 90 receiving yards, a 40-yard or longer catch, and 4 or more first down catches in all 3 games this season. So 90 yards receiving, at least a 40-plus yard catch, and 4 or more first down catches. He's done it in every single game this season. The last NFL player to start a season reaching those marks in his first 3 games was the Colts' Marvin Harrison in 1999, whose son will be playing against Jackson Smith-Njigba, and I believe was former teammates with Jackson Smith-Njigba. It's a couple years ago, so my timelines aren't adding up. They might have missed each other at Ohio
Close
State.
enough.
But close enough. But it was Pops that last did it with the Colts back in 1999.
Ohio State's pouring out the players.
It's players and wide receivers. I mean, if you're a wide receiver, go to Ohio State. I mean,
It might be the pro building right now, ahead of Georgia and ahead of Bama.
It really is, and especially, I mean, you look around these last couple of years of wide receivers coming out of Ohio State. I mean, you talk about wide receiver U, running back U, quarterback U, whatever it is, Ohio State, they, over the last couple of years, they have made themselves into wide receiver U.
Oregon not far off.
No, Oregon's not far off at all. No, they are right there. They've put some
Really appeals in recruiting.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Because all of them think they can get to the NFL. By a big number again today. It's the year 1989. That's the last time the Ryder Cup ended in a tie. Well, we know what happens in a tie. The team that's holding the cup, they retain. That would be ole, ole, ole. They would retain in case of a tie. Tony Jacklin was the captain in 1989 for the Euros. Raymond Floyd was the United States captain, one of 2 ties ever. So here are some of the names that were on the European team that year. You had Sevy, you had Nick Faldo. You got anything on Ronan and Rafferty?
I got nothing, Brett.
A cross between Ronan Farrow and Bill Rafferty?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Send it in. Yeah, I don't think that's the same Rafferty.
No, I don't think
U.S.
so.
team during the tie. Chip Beck, a very young Payne Stewart, Curtis Strange, Ken Green, Mark McCumber, Tom Watson, and a young Fred Couples.
Wow. All right. I don't got much on a couple of those guys.
President's Cup never ties. They play it off.
Oh, interesting.
But Ryder Cup, you can have a tie.
Brett, I know you love ties. I don't know how much you'd love a tie in the Ryder Cup.
I don't know if I like this kind of tie.
Yeah, it might be a little different. It might be a little different, but hopefully
ties are a thing of the past, except for in the NFL.
Yeah,
we can still get them regular season.
I thought we were going to get one last week in a couple of those games. But, I thought we would maybe get a tie. But, no, I'm excited for tomorrow, Ryder Cup getting started. We talked earlier about the foursome matchups being released earlier today. So, we'll see. What was it? It was last time it was Europe that dominated the foursomes on Friday, right? That's what got them out and built that big lead that ended up being the main reason they won the whole thing. So hopefully USA shows a little better this year.
Yeah, bright and early in the morning. I'm looking forward to it. And the first set of matches really sets the tone. 2 years ago in Italy, United States down 4-0.
Yeah.
It was over.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, the Europeans.
It was
dominated.
almost mathematically over on Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to play it out, for all your sponsors and everybody on Sunday. But boy, you talking about playing out the string, and it happened.
Yeah, so hopefully we don't see that happen again this year. I think a little different, being a little home course advantage up in New York, and already seeing some videos of both teams out there practice rounds, and already some heckling going on from those New Yorkers.
The video of the week, did you catch who was leading the cheers at one of the practice rounds, maybe on Tuesday?
Sure did. Ed O, how about that?
What the? What was that?
I love it. Well, about it. I mean, he was.
I can't imagine him ever holding a sand wedge in his hands in his life.
No, but he was fired up, and he was getting everybody on. He was getting them ready. He was explaining what they were going to do. I mean, it wasn't just a let's start a chant. It was all right. Here's what we're going to do. Let's get this chant going. It was awesome.
He was getting on them. You got to bring it. I mean, it was Ed O coaching D linemen.
He was in charge, and so I love it. I think good for him. He's just out here just doing whatever he wants to do, and I guess that includes Ryder Cup.
It blew my mind seeing Ed Orgeron leading the cheerleading at the Ryder Cup.
Look, if you had asked me last week who we'd be seeing Ryder Cup week, I think it would have taken us a whole year of shows to get to Ed Orgeron. But there he is.
And a lot of personalities and public figures making their way through both team rooms. And the President of the United States, a golf devotee. Is he going to be there all weekend or just Sunday?
I don't know. I know he's going to be there, but I don't know exactly if it's just a day or if it's the entire time. Or I don't know what his schedule is like.
I guarantee he's big buddies with Euro players too.
Oh, sure.
In his he's made a lot of money in the golf business.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's buddy with a lot
here
of
and
guys.
over there. Owns Turnberry.
Definitely. So no, I don't think there's I'm sure he's Mr. USA in the Ryder Cup.
I wonder if a sitting president's ever attended the Ryder Cup. I haven't seen that note anywhere.
I don't know. It's a good
I ain't hit
question.
the Google machine to see.
No, I certainly haven't. So I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. You would
Lot of golf craze, golf crazy presidents.
Yeah,
so
I mean, you'd assume
really loved it.
that there's got to be at least another one that's gone because you're
Mhm.
right. I mean, presidents they love golf. I mean, it's pretty consistent with
President
presidents.
Eisenhower just really loved it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't even thought about that because I know it's been a big conversation that the president's going to go to the Ryder Cup. So I don't know if it's a big story because he's the first or just because he's going. I really don't know. It's a good question.
It's going to be fun. And Doug Bell talked about it Saturday. They're not up against just any little ham and egg college football Saturday. This is the big boys rolled out Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, it's the NFL rolling out at 8:30.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, you don't even. The nice thing about Saturday is you get the break of you're going to start at the crack of dawn in the morning
And
you
lead
kinda-
into game day.
Yeah, you get those couple of hours where you certainly have before game day. There will be people that choose Ryder Cup over game day until 11 o'clock when you actually get games, and so you don't have that luxury on Sunday when we've got a double-in game in the NFL.
Brian, I know I've talked about this on these airwaves in the past, but last night on Live From at the Ryder Cup, they had Larry Nelson on the set with him. He won multiple majors, U.S. Opens, PGAs, and way back, once upon a time, you were not going to be Ryder Cup captain unless you won a PGA championship, and if you did and you were a decent fella, you would have a captaincy someday. Well, he never did. He's real soft-spoken, kind of not reclusive, but he's not front and center. His personality was always low key. I never realized this. Fought in Vietnam.
Oh wow!
And never touched a golf club until returning from Vietnam. Didn't learn how to play until in his 20s.
Holy cow!
And Captain Keegan Bradley recognized that kind of he'd been done wrong by PGA of America and never having been a captain and made a special designation for him to be with the team this week. It was so nice.
Cool.
And I was a little mad at myself that I didn't know more of the Larry Nelson story. And when I say this, I mean this nice. He could do the boring. I mean, he just had a boring personality, just the facts jack playing style and everything else. And I did not know enough of his background and fought in Vietnam, came home, and his wife bought him a set of clubs and said he needed a hobby.
That's incredible.
Became a dang major winner.
It's crazy. Hey, go out there, spend some time out on the golf course, and then look what it turned into. That is
After going to Vietnam.
Yeah, after doing all that stuff. I mean, that is a crazy story there. Yeah, I did not know about that. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun at the Ryder Cup. I know we'll talk about it certainly tomorrow, and we'll be watching it throughout the weekend. But before we get to a break, let me remind you, the weather's starting to change. Maybe you need to break out that fall and soon the winter wardrobe and all those winter clothes. But head down to Frontier Western Store. Family owned and operated since 1967. Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for all the biggest brands in Western wear. They're the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've also got you covered with plenty of other brands when it comes to shirts, shorts, jeans, outerwear, whatever you're looking for. But if you need a new pair of jeans, well, Frontier Western is the place you gotta go. They got all the brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler, and you'll love how easy it is to find the perfect size and style for you. Check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier Western has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dam Post, and Durango, and that's just to name a few. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. Head down to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch and check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Frontier Western Store. Well, we need to wrap up this hour and get to a break. When we return, we're talking Tigers. Greg Gaston, he joins us next.
Does your system sound like this? Hi, this is Lauren Choate from Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. If your HVAC system is over 10 years old, then it's probably out of warranty. Don't wait for it to break down and cost you expensive repairs, but be proactive with this incredible deal from Choate's. Right now, for a limited time, for the first 50 customers, we're giving a free 10-year labor warranty plus $1,000 off a brand new Carrier system install. That's peace of mind and big savings. And that's not all. Thinking about a backup Generac generator? Or maybe endless hot water with a Rinnai tankless system? You'll also get $1,000 off plus a free 10-year labor warranty on those too. Since 1958, Choate's has been serving the Mid-South with old-fashioned service you can trust. So turn to the experts with Choate's and call 347-8086 and let our family serve your family.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painters trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. And now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results, faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Busy traffic right now trying to slide out of Midtown on 240 South and South Parkway. Looks like it's got a little bit heavier over here, right on schedule. Actually, on 240 as you get on to 385 Billmore Parkway going outbound 240 here at Airways and Perkins also starting to pick up. And it's really busy. 40 east at Sycamore View Road all the way out past Germantown Parkway. Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters. Stop by and see them tonight at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour. And we've been talking about the Tigers and their win over Arkansas all week, but we got to continue talking Tigers, Tiger football, Tiger basketball. We do it all with Greg Gaston.
From the Tigers sideline, it's Tigers Talk with Memphis broadcasting legend Greg Gaston. Hear Greg weekday mornings on Sports 56 Mornings, along with Eli Savoy from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. On Twitter X at Greg_Gaston. Here's Greg with Bryant and Brett.
Greg Greg Gaston joins us every Thursday to talk Tigers, and it was a big one on Saturday. Greg, I know you were on the sidelines with your responsibilities during the game. Talk to me about that atmosphere from field level, taking in that game, because it was a fun one. Down 18, come all the way back. You punch the ball out, get the ball back, and able to kneel it out to secure the win. What was Saturday like from your point of view?
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. It was fantastic, as it was for all the fans that were there at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, those who were Tigers fans that were watching on television. We just don't get those big games, that big game atmosphere like you do in the case of Ole Miss with Brett. Every week seems like a huge game at Vaught Hemingway. You just don't get them that often anymore in this conference and as a P4. But to be able to have every once in a while these Power 4 schools coming into Memphis, and Memphis has fared very well against them. Just the atmosphere, and I know a coach will tell you it's just another game, it's the next game on the schedule, but you could feel the difference between, with all due respect, a Chattanooga, and then you turn around and play an Arkansas team, a packed crowd, nationally televised game. So yes, the atmosphere was just out of this world. We don't get it, as we've had some of these in the past. We don't get them that often, but when we do, you love to have that atmosphere. Now, you'd love it every week. It's just not the case.
But, Greg, when the Tigers get that opportunity, they cash it in. And I love telling people or explaining it's not the brick and mortar, it's not the carpet at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. It's the teams that are beating these good teams that are coming through. Well coached, good to great teams for the Tigers that keep mowing down SEC team after SEC team that come through.
Yeah, atmospheres are nice, especially if you have a stadium and you get 100,000 plus people in there, like you do at Tennessee or Penn State or Ohio State. But here it's certainly it's the players, and really it is throughout the nation. It's about the players. It's about the Jimmies and Joes. It's about the coaches. It's about the game planning and going out there and executing. And yes, it took an unbelievable defensive play to get the ball back and to run out the clock, but that's part of it. The ball bouncing your way, getting a little bit of luck, making that luck for yourselves, but also executing and coming up with big plays and not getting too down when you are down by 18. That touchdown right before halftime was huge for Memphis. And then the great job that defense did, Jordan Hankins and what they did at halftime, who knows what it was, but they came out just like they did the week prior, and they shut down the offense of Arkansas, and that's not easy to do. So, yeah, it's about those players, it's about those coaches, and congratulations to all of them.
Greg, I know for what you do, for what I do, the same amount of work gets put in a good year or a bad year, a good game or a bad game. The reward that you have absolutely you have nothing to do with it. There's no way you can change it for good or bad. I know that good feeling. You had to have it and have had it all this week. The validation that it last week already has given to Ryan Silverfield.
Pretty amazing that this team has had these moments where people are down on him and then they come through. And for Ryan Silverfield, yes, I feel very, very happy for him. And he was on our program yesterday to talk about it. But in our coaches' meetings, and the emphasis now is, look, we've done this before. We have picked up several big wins, and then we wet the bed, so to speak, the next game, because we were either too sky high from that victory, or we're not prepared, or we just didn't do our job out there. This has happened before, and it's ironic that it's happened a couple of times where the team that's next on the schedule is coming off a bye week. So you go into a game against Florida Atlantic, a team that just lost by 10 to Florida International in a rivalry game, and it's easy to look on paper and go, well, Memphis is going to crush it. They're 13.5-point favorites. If you're not ready to go, you'll lose. And so I think they have a real good mindset as to what's possible this year. It's all waiting for them. It's right out in front of them. You're over that win. That win was great. You're over that win. You have to move forward now to what's next, and that's Florida Atlantic. And I think this team mentally is really, really sharp.
You look at what Sutton Smith did against Arkansas. He's been fantastic since returning from that injury. I know it's kind of a topic. Before the season, we were all excited for Sutton Smith to return from that injury. But, the questions were kind of, how's he looking out there? What's he really going to be back from injury? He has absolutely exceeded expectations early in the year. What have you noticed maybe differently, or what have you just noticed from Sutton Smith since returning from that injury?
Well, I remember after the first game against Chattanooga talking to him, and he said, yeah, I wonder what was going to happen the first few times I got hit. And once that took place and that game ended, he's 100%, and he has shown it the last 3 games. He's a guy who the coaching staff has been raving about for several years, but we haven't really seen that. We've seen little bits and pieces, but last year we didn't see anything with the injury, and the year prior, he's been beaten up, unfortunately. He's a small back, not this big bruiser, but my gosh, you saw that speed. You saw the cutting ability. And when he gets into the secondary, forget about it. He takes it to the house. They had preached to us many times, Tim Cramsey, Ryan Silverfield, that he is going to be the next one in that long line of great running backs that Memphis has produced. And they weren't kidding. We are seeing what this guy is capable of doing. Then you throw in Greg DeWosier, who battled back from an injury that should have kept him out for 6 weeks, only kept him out for 3, and he was back and playing in that game, and that certainly helps as well because that's an added bonus to what this offense could do, not to mention the multidimensional ability of Brendan Lewis with his legs and with his arm. So it opens up things. The offensive line is really good, but I'm taking nothing away from that young man. Sutton Smith is proving to everybody how valuable he is.
Brendan Lewis is showing exactly why they brought him in.
They went and got a veteran quarterback, and a quarterback who at Nevada, unfortunately, did not have these big moments. There weren't these atmospheres. There weren't sellout crowds. There were a lot of losses. Yes, they brought him in because he's a veteran. He's an intelligent guy. He's a guy who gets there at 5 in the morning and is studying film. And while I think he was a little bit tight, and the coaches probably won't say that, Brendan may say it, there was no question he was missing some passes early in that game that he normally completes. Coming in, he was about 72%, 73% on the season, one of the tops in the country in percentage, in completion percentage. He was way off early, and I think it was the tightness of not having played in this type of atmosphere and this type of game. But he settled down. And he did so many positive things with his legs, and then he started to complete passes, and he gained confidence with each passing play, or with each play that passed, with each drive that came. And I think you're absolutely right, Brett. They brought in a guy. They know they got a couple of capable young quarterbacks sitting behind, but for the moment, for what's in front of them, this schedule that sets up for him, they wanted to have a veteran quarterback, and that's exactly what he's brought to the table.
No, it absolutely isn't. Something that I realized yesterday, I guess I was kind of looking at some things and going back and looking at that game, but we know how Ryan Silverfield and how this team, and you have to this day and age in college football, have relied on the transfer portal, but so many of those transfers came up big in that game against Arkansas. You look at offensively with what Brendan Lewis was doing, but on the defensive side of the ball, you see, Chris Bracey, a guy that they brought in from the transfer portal. Cruz Law was the player that held him up long enough. He was a transfer that came in. Kamari Wilson with the interception, that's a guy they brought in. I mean, the guys that Ryan Silverfield brought in from the transfer portal, their hands were all over that outcome against Arkansas.
Rousseau, Brumfield, the very active linebackers. The list goes on. Puda on the defensive line. But that's the world we live in now, and that's not just Memphis. They'll play Florida Atlantic this week. They have 60 new players. It's up and down every single team's roster. You'll see a bunch of new guys. But I think, Brian, you hit on it, and we've talked about this before here on this segment, that they have done a really good job in scouting out the type of players that they think they can get, that they can afford, usually smaller schools, that they feel they could be diamonds in the rough and can really contribute to this team in that team concept. And they have hit on a lot of these guys. It's a very high percentage. So I give them a lot of credit for first being able to see what's out there, being able to then utilize their resources and to be able to get these guys, and then these guys adapting to what Ryan Silverfield and this Memphis system is all about. So it's very hard. You're not going to get the top-tier guys from Ohio State transferring to Memphis. You may get some cast-offs from big schools, and they have done that. But more than likely, you're going to get players from within the group of five, and then even smaller schools. You're going to get one AA guy. And it's finding those guys that turn into studs, like last year with Chandler Martin.
It's just remarkable, the job that he's done in following Mike Norvell at a place that I would still describe as a basketball school first, in this football crazy area with all the area SEC teams. For him to carve out what he's done, I just so applaud it. It's remarkable. It's fun to watch, and it's not stopping now. So I guess we got to talk about FAU. It's just so hard to move on from last week, Greg.
It is. Again, you cherish games like that as a fan base, and certainly as a player on this team, a coach on this coaching staff. But these guys know you're only as good as your next game, and they got to be good. And again, you can't look at the paper and say, "Well, they're 1-2, they're not that good." No, they have at quarterback a 6'7" guy who has a rocket arm, who was last year's Conference USA Offensive Player of the Year. They have the ability. Now, unfortunately, there have been some situations where he had 6 interceptions against my alma mater, against Maryland. I watched that game, Brett. They were moving that ball up and down the field, Florida Atlantic, and then there would be a tip pass, and there would be a pick. And so 6 of the guys of his interceptions have come in one single game. I think they play at a high pace. What's the word? Breakneck. Thank you. Breakneck pace. I mean, I'm telling you, they are one of the fastest as far as tempo in the country. I think they rank number 5, if I'm not mistaken. They're in the top 5. And there are some other schools within the American Conference that are also up there in tempo. East Carolina is one of them. But this is going to be a challenge, because I think for a defense, for a defensive coordinator, for Jordan Hankins, you're looking at the pace they play, the tempo they play, a quarterback that has the ability to throw it all the way down the field from 60, 70 yards without a problem on a rope. And then you also have you don't know what to expect from a really young head coach that they have, who is just getting his feet wet. What is he going to do? Is he going to change up everything? Are you going to see different looks? I would imagine that you will. So it's very hard to game plan for a team like this and a young coach like this who has nothing to lose. So that's why there is a little bit of a concern. You can't be thinking about how great it was last Saturday, because it all goes for naught if you go down to Boca and lose that game on Saturday.
Greg, you watching Maryland and Florida Atlantic, your beloved University of Maryland at Great College Park, Maryland, they should waive the rest of your life Alumni Association dues for you watching that game.
Well, it's my school. I'm going to support it, even though I've been very vocal about the head coach. They are undefeated. They got to win at Wisconsin, although I don't think Wisconsin's the Wisconsin from 5 years ago. But I got to give them credit. They're off to a good start. We'll see what happens the rest of the way.
But you also watched it. But you also watch it because of this, and I'm going to do my best Donald Sutherland from Animal House. It's my job.
It's my job. I love watching games. It's also where Maryland was playing early before the Tigers game, which was, I forget what time that was, but you know what I mean. It's got to work out schedule-wise, and it just happened to be Florida Atlantic, which was going to be a future opponent of Memphis. So I got a good look at that team. So when I talk about Florida Atlantic, I know a lot more than when I talked about Troy. That was more doing my homework and reading up about them. I didn't do games. I didn't go in there with Brendan Lewis at 5 in the morning and break down tape, right? But this team, I know a little bit more about them. And look, it's a team that has had some success. Certainly, Lane Kiffin was their coach and had success there. Yeah. Tommy Herman.
Yeah.
And they've gotten players as
Howard Schnellenberger way back.
Yeah. Way back with Howard Schnellenberger. And it's interesting, the 2 times that they've played Memphis, both in bowl games. So this will be the first regular season meeting between these two.
I went to the unfun New Orleans Bowl for Memphis and Florida Atlantic. I mentioned Donald Sutherland. You said had a good look. He had a good look at Katie too.
And Katie had a good look at him too.
It's my job.
It's his job, absolutely. Yeah, that's you and I with the Animal House reference. Hopefully,
I
the
heard you
youngins out there understand.
I heard you the other morning with the top of the Delta pledge class. I caught that.
I have to use that every once in a while. I pull it out and I brush it off and use it every once in a while.
Good stuff.
That's exactly right. Greg, before we let you go, Tiger basketball conference schedule released earlier today. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I took a little peek at it. I think they end with Tulane, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, on
so
the
maybe
road
that's
at Tulane.
maybe that's the thought that Tulane will be the second best. And I think they try to do that, and it's always Memphis. Who are they going to play at the end? That's why I always think that they probably have pinpointed Tulane this year. Look, it's a bad conference. This isn't football. Football is a very solid conference. Basketball is not. And to be up for every one of those games takes an awful lot. And I'm not saying they've always been, but last year to go out and win the regular season, to take care of business, the regular season title, and then to win the conference championship like they should, I mean, they took care of business. And that'll be the same thing this year. We'll see what happens non-conference. It's a completely new team. But as far as conference play, I don't care who Penny throws out there. This is going to be the team to beat. And as long as they go out there and focus, they should be able to dominate this conference again. And then you have the new structure in the tournament where if you finish 1 or 2, the 1 seed or the 2 seed, you go automatically to the semifinals, which means 2 games can win the conference tournament championship for you. And that's where you want to be, 1 or 2, and I would imagine Memphis will be there.
And I'm glad they're doing that. I wish more conferences. I wish they'd even go past that. You win the regular season, you automatically advance to the finals.
Get a bid. Yeah, get a spot in the final. Why not?
Well, it's going to certainly look different. I know something Brett and I talked about earlier, something Brett pointed out, this kind of tough stretch in conference play. Thursday, February 12th at North Texas. Then you have the road game that weekend, the non-conference game against Utah State. And then that following Thursday, a road game at South Florida. So that will be probably the toughest part of the conference schedule. Back-to-back road conference games and smack dab in the middle, a tough road non-conference game against Utah State.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that because I was just looking at the conference schedule that was released. But Brett's absolutely right. That's a lot of miles. That's some frequent flyer miles. So, yeah, that's interesting.
It's no favor by the league, Greg. I mean, come on now, league.
No.
You know who pays the freight in this league.
Well, that's a good point. And they don't always get they're not always the beneficiary of getting the good side of the schedule. But, yeah, the Utah State game I think is important. We've talked about that before, is to have that, not that it's, you're playing Alabama, for goodness sakes, but you're playing a very capable team, and to have that game outside of the conference close to tournament time, I think is important. But, yeah, to have the 3 road games, I didn't realize that until you guys just brought that up. That's pretty brutal, but Memphis has been very good on the road, and I think they'll be up for the challenge.
Greg, you very much have applauded and endorsed the great job that Dr. Ed Scott is doing. I told Bryant this story yesterday that I ate lunch yesterday with a big time Tiger booster and supporter, and he told me, he said, Brett, you just can't believe what an impressive together guy. He's got it. He said that he is what this department and this university needs. He's really impressed by Ed Scott.
I am absolutely blown away every time I talk to Dr. Scott. I listen to him speak. He is proactive with a capital B, a P. He's got, I can't even spell. He's got the vision for where this athletic program needs to be and will be under his leadership. I know it's been awfully tough to hear rejection after rejection, but with Dr. Ed Scott, let's just hope he's here for a long time, because I feel that the end result is going to be what we're all hoping for with that guy's leadership. He is absolutely impressive.
Yeah, it's been a really good start for him here in Memphis. Well, Greg, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll
enjoy
do it again.
Boca.
Yeah, enjoy Boca. That'll be fun. We'll do it again next Thursday.
Awfully swanky.
Yeah, it's a little too swanky for me. You enjoy Oxford. Should be a lot of fun. Bryant, we'll talk to you guys next week.
That's right. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Greg Gaston joining us like he does every single Thursday to talk Tigers.
And Greg and Eli got live breaking action tomorrow morning.
Yeah, they'll be breaking
Rare
down.
they get breaking news.
They'll be doing play-by-play.
Breaking game
game
action.
Yeah.
They have breaking news.
Oh yeah, but no, they get the action tomorrow morning, which will be it's pretty much that and the British Open that they really get all the action for. So
That's about it.
Excited for that early tomorrow morning, bright and early during Sports 56 mornings with Greg and Eli. We talk Tigers every single Thursday with Greg. Is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis. They've got serious vans for serious work at 4430 American Way. They are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or full fleet, new or used, they've got it with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter van headquarters. Give them a call, 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road. Well, Brett, you mentioned it. We talked about it yesterday, and Greg highlighted it some more. The job that Ed Scott has done since taking over at the University of Memphis, I don't think it can be talked about enough. He has been fantastic since the day he accepted the job.
He has, and okay, I know it got turned down. I still don't know why, but to put together that deal, that got a lot of people's attention.
Sure.
Man, Memphis has got an operator down there.
Yeah.
Tell me why the Big 12 didn't accept it. I'll never know.
The $1 million question right there. But no,
well, about $250 million of them.
It's true. Yeah, it's more than $1 million question. But no, I mean the day
But he's going to keep swinging and he's going to hit.
And that's the thing is the day he stepped on the podium and was introduced as the athletic director. That was one of the first things that came out of his mouth. Of my goal is to get the University of Memphis into a power conference, and then he put his money where his mouth is by going out there and giving that offer to the Big 12. And so, yes, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to keep swinging, that he's going to keep trying to do everything he can to put Memphis in that position and get them in a power conference. So it's been a lot of fun to watch. Well, we're going to get to a break here in a second, but before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, the 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and Floyd Connect entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com, but head out there and test drive these vehicles, 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Are you ready for the... Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. from restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Ready to shine, Memphis? Drive clean all month long with unlimited wash plans at Club Car Wash. Stop by any 4 Club locations in Greater Memphis or visit clubcarwash.com today.
Club Car Wash. Join the club.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Minute Hall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Steady flow of traffic right now. 40 east here at Germantown Parkway, passing Canada Road. All the traffic making its way out into Fayette County. There's been some showers out there in certain parts of Fayette County. It was running a little bit slow a few minutes ago. South of Memphis on 55, down through parts of South Haven into DeSoto County. Again, a little bit of extra time south of Memphis on 55. Hey, Weimers Jewelry, your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Stop by and see them at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Here comes the hero man. Says he's a people man.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we got a little less than 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending, and what's trending today is Thursday night football. The NFL is back. Seattle at Arizona, the Thursday night matchup tonight. It's on Prime Video, but if you don't have Prime Video, if you're out and about, you can hear it right here on Sports 56. We'll have coverage of tonight's game starting at 7 p.m. between Seattle and Arizona. While I'm telling you about this, I'll tell you about what we've got, and we'll remind you about this tomorrow as well, but what we've got for the weekend. Saturday, Ole Miss and LSU, the game we've talked a lot about. We'll have coverage of that starting at 12:30 with their pregame show. Then Sunday, a triple header. Chargers at Giants at noon, Colts at Rams at 3, and then Sunday Night Football, Packers and Cowboys at 7. So we've got you covered for the NFL over the weekend, but it starts tonight. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday. These are 2 teams, both 2-1 on the season, but I don't know how high the expectations were from fans and just viewers of the NFL going into the season, I don't think they were very high on either of these teams.
And I don't know how good they are. And now the short week, but if you win it, you get the little bit of almost an open date, and somebody's going to be 3-1 if you win it. But back to the broadcast schedule. I bet you know, Bryant. What's the language, and when is it? Because of a Titans game, we can't carry stuff. Do you know? Do you know that?
So if it is,
can you explain it where I can understand it?
Yeah. So from my understanding, if it is a primetime game, we can carry it fine. If it is an afternoon game, noon or 3 o'clock game, because someone else has the Titans rights, radio rights in this market, we cannot do a national broadcast of that. So, but if it is Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, we can absolutely.
I got you, because I've wondered sometimes why we can, we can't, we don't, and then now I know, and I'm looking forward to that tonight. That comes up tonight after Reb Talk, and we'll see these quarterbacks, Kyler Murray and Sam Darnold. Darnold, was that a fluke last year? And for Kyler Murray, everybody's ready for him to be consistent.
Yeah, and with Kyler Murray, it's been injuries, and can he stay healthy? Can he put together a season? So far this year, he's been pretty good. 542 yards, 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception. We know what he brings to the table with his legs as well. And then for Sam Darnold, it is the big question of, was it just the right fit in the right system? Because we had a pretty good track record of Sam Darnold is not a starting quarterback in the NFL, and then last year he gets to Minnesota. There's a quarterback battle. There's an injury. Sam Darnold's the starter, and he was terrific last season. So, it is the big question of, was that a fluke or was it something more? And, I think so far this year he's been pretty good. Completion percentage around 70, 663 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Can he keep this up? It might not be a fluke with Sam Darnold. It might have just been he turned the corner and he's starting to figure it out. We talk about all the time with Baker Mayfield. Certainly different scenario here with Sam Darnold, but if Cleveland had been a little more patient with Baker Mayfield, who knows what would be going on right now. And so maybe it's the same thing with Sam Darnold, where it just took him a long time to figure things out. And now that he's figured it out, he has turned into one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
And for Seattle, Arlington Tiger, Kenneth Walker had 2 touchdowns last Sunday.
Yeah, and it was, he's kind of been a storyline to follow for Seattle this year, because they've got a couple of running backs back there. And, week 1, I think Zach Charbonnet had the bulk of the carries. And now the last 2 weeks, it's been more Kenneth Walker, and a guy that's, coming off a couple of big seasons. You go back to 2022 when, he came in and hit it quick, 1,000-yard season in 2022, and, nearly a 1,000-yard season 2 years ago in 2023. Dealt with some injuries last year. I think it was some injuries that kept him under wraps in week 1 as well. So no, it's gonna be fun. He's been a lot of fun to watch since he's gotten to the NFL, and to see him in prime time will definitely be a lot of fun.
First time in 3 years for the Cardinals to play on Thursday Night Football. I bet they don't really mind missing out on Thursday Night Football. But look, with tonight's games, Thursday Night Football games, tomorrow night, high school games in the area. Tomorrow night, a lot of high school games, all the tailgating, all the game watching, all the fun times started at Jason's Deli. Let them take care of your event for $5,000 or $5,000. They've got you covered for however you're enjoying all the games. Ryder Cup on Sunday afternoon might have people over. Whether it's dining in, getting it to go, or getting it delivered, Jason's Deli, they love saying wholesome food forever. It's a family thing, and you'll feel that family touch in all these locations across from MUS in Park Place on Ridgeway Road, by the University of Memphis at Poplar and Highland, down in Olive Branch, out in Cordova, wherever you are in our area, you're close to one of these Jason's Deli locations. Healthy, first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free, and it's all about choice at all these Jason's Delis. Regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, you'll be delighted at Jason's Deli. Off the menu, the Mesa chicken salad, the nutty mixed up salad, the taco salad, the Big Chef salad, And in every location, all these locations, that great salad bar right there for you to prepare it however you would like, with over 30 items to choose from, plenty of organic food to choose from. And, again, the catering for breakfast, lunch, dinner time, weekends, game watching, church events, anything we have, let Jason's Deli take care of you. When you don't think you have your event planned just right, step aside, let them step in. That's when they excel. And at all these locations, down in Olive Branch, out in Cordova, by the U of M, over across from MUS, complimentary free ice cream. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
So some breaking news earlier this afternoon came out about an hour ago at this point, but Rob Pelinka and J.J. Redick met with the media earlier this afternoon, and Rob Pelinka announced that J.J. Redick has received an extension. Did not go into specifics about how many years, what it looks like, but at least 1 year added to the 4-year deal that he signed last year, becoming the head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. So after 1 year, J.J. Redick getting an extension with the Lakers.
I think pretty good last year.
I think he was good last year. I think it was, it was a weird year in L.A. Certainly a lot going on. A lot before he even got there. I guess when he got
coaching
there.
LeBron.
And imagine coaching Bronny. I mean, it was a lot going on in L.A. last year. And
in your first job.
Exactly. So, no, I thought if just watching the Lakers play last year, watching the game plan, I thought he was pretty good last year with the Lakers, and so I'm completely fine with him adding another year. I think this, further shows that they are looking to kind of start this new era with the Lakers, with Luka, with J.J. Redick as the coach, and giving him more years. That it feels like those two are going to be the constants for the next handful of years, and they'll start kind of building around that, and J.J. Redick will certainly have an input of what this team will look like going forward. So definitely some interesting news as we're getting all this news around the NBA as teams start opening up training camp.
It's that time, and with the new and improved Luka, I don't know the bigger body type change, Luka or Zion.
I think with Luka, I feel like before I say this, I love Luka. One of my favorite players in the NBA. I would say probably my second or third player in the NBA, favorite player in the NBA. But I feel like we play this game a lot with Luka. Like, it feels like we come back from camp or we're in the off season and we see these pictures of Luka and he looks good, and then we come back.
You think he gets chubby again?
I'm not saying that for this year, because I'm curious how playing in Eurobasket affects that, because it's not as much downtime. He had to get ramped up for playing in Eurobasket, and I mean, Eurobasket just wrapped up 2 weeks ago. So I mean, it's another quick turnaround from playing there to playing preseason games with the Lakers and starting camp. So maybe this is the year where we see a different kind of body for Luka. I hope so. I mean, I don't think it affects him too much. I think he's a phenomenal player, whatever he looks like out there. But it doesn't hurt, I guess.
Yeah, and Keith was reluctant to go all the way there with Zion. He was going to sell you parts of the Everglades.
I love it. I'll take it. But no, I mean, it's kind of the same thing where it almost feels like every year we're doing it with Zion. It's not as much his body, because I feel like
his durability.
We haven't seen this type of body from Zion, but it is every single year of, okay, this is the year he's going to be healthy, and he says all the right things, and that front office and the coaching staff say all the right things, and then we get to the season, and without a doubt, he gets injured and he misses a lot of time. So, I'm kind of with Keith. I'll believe it when I see it, but I hope we see it, because again, when he's on the court, when he's healthy, when he's playing, he is phenomenal. He's one of the better players in the NBA. The problem is we just don't see him out there enough to be considered one of the better players in the NBA.
And we've seen it with our, with our families and friends through the years on weight loss. Mm-hmm. It's easy to drop that first big tonnage. Mm-hmm. Maintaining it is really difficult.
Yeah, no, it really is. And so, I think this is the big year for Zion, because, last year we did the almost entire season of what are they going to do? Are they going to trade him? Are they going to deal him? Trade deadline came around. It's okay, yeah, Zion's going to be moved, and they didn't do anything. So this feels like the year, and I think Keith even kind of alluded to that, of if it's more injuries, if it's not coming together on the court, if this team is really bad, then we could see them make a move. And now we know New Orleans might be desperate this year. I mean, again, this is the team that traded their unprotected first-round pick next year. So they might get to a point where if things aren't clicking, if things aren't working, they might be desperate and just start saying, we got to move everything, and we certainly have to move Zion Williamson. Even if he is playing better and if he looks like he could be a big piece of the team, they might become desperate and have to move him.
Yeah, I want to see the soft tissue injuries with Zion. It's always a pull or a strain or something like that.
Yeah, it's always kind of when you least expect it with him. So, who knows? But I am excited to get these preseason games started, to get training camps open. I know that the Grizzlies, they'll have media day on Monday, so there'll certainly be a lot of questions to all the guys and front office, coach, players, everything. We'll get a lot of quotes out of that on Monday, so that will be a lot of fun. And then we'll get some preseason game. It really is hard to believe that a week from today we'll have preseason games in the books. I mean, we'll be talking about it with Keith. That's wild to believe.
We'll break it down.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much of play-by-play we'll be breaking down. Another thing that I want to just throw in here real quick before we get to a break, the news earlier this week, we haven't talked about it, C.J. Gardner-Johnson being released by the Texans, 3 teams in 3 years for him. That secondary, that defense in Houston, it's been a struggle so far, and D'Amico Ryan's looking like he wants answers now and wants change now, and a big-time change for him.
He'll get them.
To get away from a player like that. I think you're right. I think D'Amico Ryans is the coach that, especially on defense, I'm not too worried about it. I think he's the guy that can figure it out on the defensive side of the ball. So definitely going to be fun this weekend, another week in the NFL. And again, it starts tonight with Thursday Night Football, Seattle at Arizona. We'll have it right after Reb Talk, 7 o'clock. We'll have the complete coverage, and that will carry us into the games we have this weekend. Again, Ole Miss LSU on Saturday, Sunday triple header, Chargers at Giants at noon, Colts at Rams at 3, Packers at Cowboys at 7. You can catch all of those games right here on Sports 56. Well, we need to get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Mo's Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations, fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad. Or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
This isn't just a game, it's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Celebrate 100 years of high-flying dunks, 100 years of show-stopping moves, and 100 years of changing the game. Bring the whole family and be part of a legacy that never stops. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Get your tickets today at harlemglobetrotters.com.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down number 1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report in Memphis Market.
If you're looking for a cool new ride, run, don't walk to Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. Get your 2025 Taos S. We Gossett $236 a month. How about 2025 Jetta Sport? We Gossett $239 a month. Plus a Gossett Volkswagen Covington Pike 2025 Atlas Cross Sport SE $279 a month. And every 2025 Atlas Peak Edition and SEL Atlas $5,000 off MSRP. That's all 2025 Atlas Peak Editions and SEL Atlas $5,000 off MSRP. So run, don't walk to Gossett Volkswagen 1875 Covington Pike or online GossettVWMemphis.com, where we're charging forward and charging less every day. If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Volkswagen. All 36 monthly, 7,500 miles, 25 cents excess mileage. Taos S SMO 56598, MSRP 27011. Jetta SMO 851,138, MSRP 25916. Cross SE 23120, MSRP 39206. Peak Editions SEL Atlas 3500 manufacturer rebate 1500. Gossett discount includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Volkswagen Credit. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 9/30/25.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Corporate Catering. Enjoy tacos made with crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. Find out more. Call Jenny Nash at 901-606-3172.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries, its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye!
It's obviously Crunch Time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, Brett, what I learned today, it's actually what I learned last night, and it's that the Seattle Mariners have won the AL West. The first time that they have won the division since 2001. They did it last night with a win over the Colorado Rockies, a 9-2 win over the Rockies. And in the bottom of the 8th inning, Cal Raleigh hit big number 60, the big dumper, an incredible season that he's had, now becoming just the 4th AL player all-time to hit 60-plus home runs, joining Aaron Judge, Roger Maris, and Babe Ruth. Still has some time, a couple more games left on the season to add to that, but it was incredible. I mean, he steps up to the plate, bottom of the 8th inning, the Mariners are up big. Everybody, a jam-packed T-Mobile Park, everybody on their feet, MVP chants raining down on him, and the first pitch he sees, he sends it out past the right field fence. So really fun environment. It kind of got it didn't ever get nervous because they won 9-2, but they were up 9-1. They send out a reliever that is just kind of a spot reliever out there, and he kind of struggled getting out. So I think it was a 22-23 pitch inning for him in the bottom of the 9th, and you could feel those fans they were ready to celebrate. They didn't want to watch this 9th inning go on and on, but really fun and still some time. Brett, you mentioned it yesterday. Still time for Seattle to take that number 1 seed in the American League. So still a lot to watch around Major League Baseball. It's going to be fun down the stretch.
And as I mentioned earlier, that 60 American League club, first non-Yankee to do it.
Oh, that's a really good point, Brett. Yeah, you're right.
So you know that is a special class.
Yeah.
What I learned today, pretty big one in the NFC West tonight. We just got through talking a lot about it. Sam Darnold against Kyler Murray. Seattle with a 7-game win streak over the Big Red. The Cards have allowed the 4th fewest rushing yards in the NFL. 9 total wins so far for the NFC West. No other division with more than 7 wins. So this is a good division. Got to win division games.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Division games are so important, and tonight should be a really, really fun one. What I could have done without Brett, I'm going to stick with Major League Baseball, and I'm going to talk about these teams that are collapsing down the stretch. We talked about it earlier. It's kind of been the story of Major League Baseball this week, but what the Detroit Tigers are doing. I mean, Cleveland, you got to give them a ton of credit. They've been playing extremely well, 9-1 over the last 10 back-to-back wins. They went on that streak where they had 10, 11 wins in a row. But on the other side, the Detroit Tigers now 1-9 in their last 10 on an 8-game losing streak. Cleveland now has sole position of that division, and the Tigers holding on for dear life just to make the wild card. And you talk about teams that are struggling, teams that are collapsing. You can throw the Houston Astros in there as well. 5 straight losses for the Astros. That's a team that we thought were going to be to the last game of the season fighting for the AL West. Now they're just trying to fight to make it to the playoffs.
Tigers in Cleveland just getting underway. What I could have done without 3 straight years now for our Cardinals not to be in the postseason. 14 years since the last World Series. At World Series time next year, it'll be 15 years. That feels like 108 years. Now I know how those Cubby fans felt for all those years. Almost impossible now to miss the playoffs 3 straight years with all these teams that get in it. But the Cardinals have done it because they hadn't even been trying to make the playoffs.
That's right. But, Brett, on the same night that the team got eliminated, the Springfield, the AA team, won the Texas League. So at least the organization
Springfield Cardinals.
Yeah, at least somebody
they got
in the
birds on the
organization
bat
is
on
winning.
their jerseys, don't they? Yeah.
I guess so, but I don't know how much pride we want to take in that. Where are you beaming tonight?
Tomorrow morning, first thing.
Oh, yeah.
Beth Page Black, first tee. It'll be Live meets Par 3 at Phoenix, meets WWE, meets a Giants football game in the Meadowlands. Somewhere in there, golf's got to be played, doesn't it? And hurry up and play while we're young. This build-up is taking forever this week.
You know, Brett, I haven't said this. I'm going to say it now. I don't think I'll be up at 6 a.m. when they're teeing off. But I got some juice for tomorrow morning. I think I'm going to wake up early and watch.
I do too.
Watch some of this. Maybe don't hold me to it. 7:30, maybe I can get up and watch some early golf tomorrow.
Live text it to you.
I don't know. I don't have much faith in myself, but I am excited to get everything started tomorrow morning, and it should be a lot of fun. But being me tonight, I know it is 2 2-1 teams, but I don't think 2 2-1 teams that anybody are super excited about. But being me to the Seahawks-Cardinals game tonight on Prime should be a good game, a fun game. We've gotten some really fun games on Prime over the last year and a half, so I feel like this could be another one.
Also, Army and ECU tonight. Right. We talked a lot about Cardinals and Seahawks. Last night of Ryder Cup hype, thank goodness, time to play. Dodgers in Arizona, mentioned Tigers in Cleveland just getting started. There's still some jockeying around baseball. A lot of things feel settled. And I want to get this in one more time. I said it earlier talking about Cal Riley. I know it irritates people. And I know people look at me as Mr. Traditionalist, and I bet, it really offended him. Barry Bonds never offended me. So these guys are getting to 60. He got to 74.
It's crazy. It's insane. It's nuts.
In one of the hardest places to hit in baseball because you don't feel your hands a lot of nights there.
That's right. I mean, impressive. Say whatever you want to say about him. It's still extremely impressive what he did and should be in the Hall of Fame, if you're asking me.
I think second greatest player ever behind Babe Ruth.
Honestly, I am with you on that. But it's going to be a great night. You've got college football, you've got NFL, you've got baseball. Tomorrow morning we'll all be watching golf, so plenty to keep an eye on. But that's all the time we have this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos and enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real